Hello and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Action Toon Bros. No pomp and circumstance for this one, but I am, Temple Guardian Ben Sturgeon.
And I am your Sith Inquisitor. I couldn't remember the term. No, we're not doing another take. Yeah. Star Wars time.
I was going to say Star Wars time, and you fumbled it.
I know. I was going to say something else instead of Inquisitor. I have no idea.
Yeah, but you want to know something? You know, we're both of us Jedi Masters. I air quote that intensely because I am literally sitting across from the Master of Star Wars. But we have a special guest, a Padawan Learner. And his name, I mean, you all have listened to this podcast long enough. Veteran guest from this cast, and if you go over the movie garbage, which is Matt and Ed's other cast, Chris Bow. Hi, Chris Bow.
Hi, how's it going?
I mean, it's going fine. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay.
How's the Force?
These guys sat me down, made me watch this Star Wars Vision show.
No. Hold on. What? I sat you down. Matt had nothing to do with it.
Oh, yeah, this is all Ben's idea.
I sat you down.
Ben sat me down, made me watch the Star Wars Vision show, and it was pretty good. Like my main takeaway from it is, I would watch a Star Wars anime. Like a whole show. I'd watch it.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, before you watch this, Chris, small interview before we actually start. Before you watch this, how much
do the movie garbage Star Wars episode 2? So get ready for that.
Oh boy,
spoilers. But anyway, so before you watch the Visions, before I gave this idea about, hey, we should do this. How much of Star Wars do you actually know of?
Well, let's see. I'm pretty sure I watched episode 4, like 20 years ago.
A New Hope for those plebeians who don't know.
Probably episode 5. I don't fully remember. And then I went to go see the fairly, I think, newest or previous episode that was out in theaters. I want to say episode 8?
You're talking about The Last Jedi?
Or Rise of Skywalker.
Or Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker, I think.
Alright, that's the newest one. Then.
I went to go see it with Ed. He asked me to go with him, and I watched.
Oh, what a coincidence. When it came to Rise of Skywalker, I had one of our friends, Matt, be like, hey, we're going to go to the theater and watch it. And you know what we did immediately after? We recorded an episode of it.
There you go.
Have you listened to that episode?
I listened to like a bunch.
Yeah, we have so many gaps.
It's one of my favorite episodes, though.
It was fun, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Always fun.
We missed a ton.
We missed a bunch.
We didn't even mention certain characters for like long stretches.
Then again, like I've noticed with all of our holiday special type things and all this special, we miss a ton. Berserk, we missed a ton.
Of course.
Over the Garden Wall. Poor me, because I'm the one who knew that more than you. I missed a lot in that.
Oh yeah, we barely do research on this show.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But yeah, so Chris over here is the one who knows little to nothing. I can't say nothing because he does have a super basic, like, I guess if you're going to put this in like a school term, he's got like preschool knowledge.
Right, I have like osmosis knowledge.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think one time when we were cleaning Ed's basement, we had either episode 2 or 3 on.
It was 2. It was 2. You know why?
Yeah.
Because it got to the Death Sticks part.
Oh God, yeah. No, yeah, but we had that in the background while we were cleaning, and nobody was paying attention to it because it's probably like the second worst Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but the point is, like, I would by no stretch of the imagination call myself a Star Wars fan, but I don't dislike it. It's more like it's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So,
or like I've never really had enough interest to like put myself or immerse myself into the Star Wars universe. Like if I like thinking about like maybe if I really sat down and tried to give it a chance, I think I might like it. But good lord, there's a lot.
You don't want to watch 7 seasons of Clone Wars, 3 seasons of Rebels. You don't want to watch
4 seasons of Rebels.
Nice, 4. The 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. 3rd one coming soon. Boba Fett spin-off series. Come on.
And 9, not to mention 9 movies.
And 2 spin-off movies.
Yeah, 9 movies, 2 spin-off movies. And well, now okay.
Not even touching the EU and the books and the games. Fallen Order is one of my favorite games.
Okay, well, all this aside, point is Chris is literally is baby to this. He's a baby to this.
I am baby.
However, fortunately, we decided to start him off on something that has nothing to do with the canon. Very, very little. We'll get to that in this.
We'll discuss it. It'll need to be discussed.
Very little to the canon, and each episode of these 9 episodes is literally just one-offs.
Oh yeah.
And for those of you listening, and you probably already seen the title of this, you've probably seen the thumbnail if you're watching this on YouTube, but we are covering Disney Plus's Star Wars Visions. Now, for those of you who are heavy fans of Star Wars, like my friend Matt over here.
Oh, you didn't see my Christmas tree, which has C-3PO, Darth Vader, Yoda, Bobbles on, and Chewbacca.
Not to mention the fact that you literally got all 3 of your lightsabers out, custom made from Disney.
Yeah.
No, we are not sponsored.
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, Galaxy's Edge, and literally berated the 2 of us for not bringing our lightsabers that we don't own.
Yeah, I'm kind of a Star Wars fan. Maybe, I don't know.
Kind of looks at the 3 custom. Looks at the BB-8, one of the Imperial-looking BB-8s, and a custom R2-D2 that you got from a conveyor belt. Yeah, you have maybe a little bit of a fan.
I kind of know this thing a little bit.
For those of you who actually know the canon of Star Wars, read the books, decided to watch Lucas's films, but
real quick, I just want to say, like, looking at it now, the R2-D2, it's like off-brand R2-D2. It makes me think of that movie. It's like, Mom, I want R2-D2. We have R2-D2 at home. R2-D2 at home.
I was gonna say, just like to fucking flex my overly Star Wars knowledge, in the Vader comics run that's just currently going, there's an evil C-3PO and an evil R2-D2 called BT and 000. They're literally a black C-3PO and they just murder nonstop, and they love to kill. All they do is kill, and all they do is murder. BT and 000 are real funny.
So R2 if he wasn't held back by C-3PO, and C-3PO if he actually had gumption.
Yeah, they love to torture and murder, and they're hilarious.
Literal murder bots.
Yeah,
that's what we modeled that what's it called, that astromech after. Which is that's the kind their astromech's been. And BB model, even that's BB-9 from episode what was that, 7? Was he was in? Yeah, the one with Rey. The Last Jedi was the one with BB-9.
Yeah, well, either way, yeah. See, you can flex this knowledge all
I'm
you want.
going to. I'm going to literally specify specific alien races during this thing that I know,
which is fine. But those of you who actually have a knowledge of the continuity of Star Wars, like the canon story, which, by the way, even that's up in the air thanks to the overlords, which I think I shouldn't even keep naming Disney. Because,
they're fine.
Yeah, again, not sponsored, but
I was gonna say,
this right here. So apparently, for Star Wars Visions, a whole group of different Japanese animation studios, anime studios, got together and decided to make like one-shot episodes in their style. So this has again, barely anything to do with continuity. There are some things, we'll get to those in the episode, and you can literally go in, like Chris, not knowing much, or just at the very least an elementary knowledge of Star Wars, and actually still get into it. But with that all being said, I
was gonna say, you mentioned earlier the whole like canon, non-canon. You know about the whole like Legends, which is like the old EU stuff for like when Lucas let anybody write any book or any company making.
Oh yeah, game. You mean like what Knights of the Old Republic?
Even though that's been but even though Knights of the Old Republic is still like slowly creeping into being, because there's a lot of references in Clone Wars. Well, they've been
there's only a few, but guess what? But see, with Clone Wars, especially the CG one that came after the good Genndy Tartakovsky one.
We're gonna get into this again. I don't care for the Genndy Clone Wars because it was so absurd. That some of these are there's no, because like the it's so absurd that like a lot of that stuff couldn't possibly actually be canon in any way.
Matt's making me do this. I slowly take off the glasses. Now you say that the Genndy Tartakovsky one was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The short, more focused story leading up to the third movie. That is not the 7-season thing
masterpiece.
That has okay, sure. That has so much going on for it that half of the entire series, I never even watched because I nearly fell asleep to them.
Oh, it's the best. It made actual characters out of Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, who's wonderful and super mega canon now. As opposed to the Tartakovsky one, which,
added Ahsoka.
It is cool when somebody force pushes 1,000 droids and flies to the top of a gigantic machine and lifts it over their head and blows it up. And it's very pretty. I love Gendy's art. I literally was watching Dexter's laboratory clips earlier today. But
you
it was never canon because it never made any sense.
But it was actually canon. And guess what?
Like 10 seconds before the 3D one.
And guess what they did that they didn't do in Episode 3 and in the new Clone Wars? Mm-hmm. They made Grievous actually cool. Yeah. Genndy Tartakovsky made Grievous the badass that he is. And then Episode 3 came out.
Yeah.
And he was just they totally
a weird Chinese Jamaican idiot.
they made him dumb. They made him dumb.
Oh yeah, I will say yes. That is probably a one good thing I'll say about the Tartakovsky one. That that was for the 5 seconds Grievous was interesting in that one fight that he had in that thing. But then
which one?
The entirety of the hundreds of minutes of footage now after of actual canon Grievous, he was never cool. He looked cool. But it sucks.
The moment the movie came out, when Episode 3 came out,
and they
ruined him.
Yeah,
they ruined him.
He did anything cool.
He was I can't even agree with people who say he's bootleg Darth Vader. Because he's not. He's not even that great.
No, he was never close to them.
But anyway. Sorry. Chris is over here about to fall asleep.
Yeah, Chris, we're sorry. We're going to get real esoteric.
And, I mean, that's fine. I'm just over here with my metaphorical popcorn.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, what? That's probably smart.
Yeah, you're not a Star Wars fan unless you're angrily arguing with your friend about canon or not canon stuff.
I mean, that can apply to any fandom, really.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You're not a true ex-fandom, insert fandom fanatic here unless you're arguing with other people.
Pulls out pot, starts stirring it. Unless you're the Undertale fandom, am I right?
No, they're all
stirs it vigorously. Stirs this pot vigorously.
Them coming after us.
Now, anyway, so now that we've gotten a good 12 minutes into this, let's start Vision, shall we?
I was going to say, one more thing before we started.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
They are all singular story things, but I wanted to say if we could put them into different categories when each episode we watch, because I was going to say some feel like concise, wrapped up stories. Some feel like they could be pilots, and some feel like they could be in the middle of a narrative and could or could not be left alone or not.
No, I get that because there are some that have open endings.
Yeah.
There are some that literally tell a story, and yes, they may seem like they may have open endings, air quotes, but they actually tell a story, and that's it.
Yeah, some could just be really concise, by themselves. Some. Also, it's all personal interest. Would you really want to see this, expanded more and stuff like that?
Right. Yeah. And you know what? I think that would be good too. So you got your research up? Because I forgot to do some research on some things.
I out of the studios, I was going to say I only know one studio, and I'll mention it when they come up.
Oh, yeah, of course.
One other one sounds familiar, and their style looked familiar, but beyond that, I didn't specify any of particular studios.
Let's actually get this started. Chris, you got your notes out?
Yep.
Because we all get to say this one. We get to start off with Episode 1 of Star Wars Visions, The Duel.
Yeah.
Eggman. Chris, how does this start off?
Okay, so I didn't take step by step notes.
That's fine. General notes are fine.
So it starts off in this really cool feudal Japan inspired village. Mm-hmm. That looks really cool. And of course you have your Star Wars creatures, all different races and bots, droids, and whatnot.
We see a weird Ronin samurai guy.
We have the weird Ronin. They actually address him, at least in the English version, as Master Ronin, which I thought was kind of cool.
Disclaimer. This series, because it's anime, they do have a Japanese and an English version. I don't know about you, Matt, but we did watch it in English because I kind of forced him to watch it in English.
It defaulted in English, so I was just okay, that's fine.
So we get this Ronin with his droid, his little I forget what they call it.
I think it's an astromech.
Well, right, yeah, kind of like R2 and stuff like that. Yeah. But either way, I don't remember if they gave him a name. And it's in the art style. Sorry, I have to stop. the studio who did this was Kamikaze Doga. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I saw they do some games and some stuff like that.
But
animation.
this art style, I asked Chris this. He didn't know much about it, which is fine. Are you familiar with Akira Kurosawa?
Yeah, it was very much like Kurosawa.
Yojimbo.
100%. I was gonna say yes. This is 100% a Kurosawa-esque thing, which is the original inspiration for the original Star Wars to George Lucas.
Oh, was it?
Was Kurosawa?
See, I did not know that. Actually.
Yeah.
But this gave me
That's why
Yojimbo
Vader's
vibes.
head's supposed to be like a samurai helmet. That's why it's so
But
weird.
yeah, so I mean, you just get them, and they're just walking by, and you just see a village.
Yeah.
And in this village, just one alien race that happens
It's a Sullustan.
Thank you.
Like
See, you know that stuff.
Like Nienub, the pilot who was with
Lando's buddy?
Yeah, the guy with Lando.
Okay.
That was Nienub.
Wait.
Come on.
This is why we have Matt.
And of course, everyone knows Sullust is a lava planet, and the people developed those weird flaps on their faces to deal with the constant thing, and the Empire invaded there. Don't get me started. I'm a maniac.
Yeah, obviously everyone knows that. Like, I clearly knew that.
I'm a literal
Everyone
maniac.
knows that as I stare at Chris like I'm in the office because I didn't know.
Yeah, it's Sullustan is the
but,
yeah.
Sullustan?
Yeah, it's a Sullustan. Yeah.
Yeah, because by the way, these episodes are short. They're not full half-hour episodes.
They're all about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, about 15, 20 minutes. So there's going to be a lot of what seems like we're skipping a lot of things. No, there's not skips.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like after he's walking, he gets to the village. He goes to the Sullustan, who's like, Master Ronin. Yes, he actually gets called Master Ronin, and the Ronin pays him generously from what it sounds like, and then you find out there's some trees rumbling.
Yeah, we see. Does the Sullustan mention that there's some bandits after the war?
After
right?
we see them come in, yes.
Yeah. We see a bunch of people riding inside. It looks like the Jawa carrier thing.
It
looks like that, but it wouldn't because it's
just a big transport, really. But it's just a land transport, and we also we see like I thought this was hilarious. Guys in half stormtrooper helmets and stuff, and they're like playing frickin' dice game and stuff like that.
Yeah, very cool aesthetic.
as they're all walking out, you just see this mysterious hooded figure sitting in there.
Yeah, of course.
And we find out through the Sullustan that as all of these guys are gathering everyone up, there are a bunch of bandits, pretty much, that took over an abandoned Imperial base, pretty much. And so they just come in and they
never say explicitly Imperial if they're not what the hell they're or what army they're with. Like all of these are very vague about like what the actual name of the antagonists are.
Some of them, but we find out they're bandits. So we can. My guess is that they're just a bunch of randos who are like regular bandits. Yeah. They just found some high technology and took it to be their own.
Yeah. But they're just doing a raid on this village. They come out shooting. It's really cool sequence. I was gonna say, you've seen some of Clone Wars, right?
I've seen enough.
You've seen Rebels?
All of Rebels.
Of course. Like, there's this thing that I call the Filoni special. If you know Dave Filoni, he's the head producer of Clone Wars, Rebels, New Star Wars, The Mandalorian. He's in charge of everything. He loves the fucking Seven Samurai plot of bandits attacking a village, and the samurais train them to defend themselves. They actually
did that in Clone Wars.
No, they do it about 7 or 8 times in Clone Wars.
Yeah, there was actually one episode that was dedicated to...
No, I mean, they do it like 7 or 8 times in Clone Wars. They do it about 4 or 5 times in Rebels. And guess what? You remember The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
How often does that happen to him in that? It's the Filoni special. He loves that plot. I don't know why he keeps doing it, but...
Well, if you overuse it, any plot's going to be boring.
Of course.
But the Seven Samurai plot is actually a really good plot.
Oh yeah, well it pops up multiple times during this series.
Yes, we know. But still,
it's appreciated. Anyway. I love the dynamic of it, but I'm just making fun of because it is a very like cliche thing that they love doing in Star Wars.
Yeah. So these bandits are just like, hey, give us your money. It's tax season time. Who's the leader here? And this kid, a literal 8 years old child, stands up. And he's like, I'm the leader. And they're all like, haha, yeah, okay. And the kid's like, you've terrorized us and blah, blah, blah speech about how we're, done with all of this. And they're like, oh, I see. you're not the chief. The chief just left you and abandoned you.
Yeah, your dad's a loser.
And then as they're making fun, you actually get to see.
What are you gonna do about it, kid?
Yeah,
exactly.
pretty much. But as they're like, making fun of this kid's dad, you actually get to see a short scene where the dad is actually wounded in one of the houses, hiding.
Being taken care of. Not hiding, he's like being taken care of.
Hiding from view.
Yeah.
He's resting.
But he's resting, being actually recovered. And I'm just like, yep, they have to make the bad guys look like bad guys.
It's really, I love it, just like they start, did the Defenders of the Village come out at this point?
The
intermittent cut to the samurai just chilling out, kind of semi-ignoring it.
Well, sort of. But then as the bandits are talking before the shootout happens, he actually does, like, look over and, like, as if, like, there's something going on in his head. Like, he's actually, like, has some interest. But then, as Chris said, what are you gonna do about it, kid? The kid holds up a hand, and then...
Yes, kid? Do you have a question? Do you need to go to the bathroom?
We get, like, a few... There's actually a few I noticed. Like,
there was...
you get to see, like, who's the shooter from the top? Who's the sniper?
Is that the...
what is it?
What Bosk's race is? Trandoshans? There's a Trandoshan.
Oh, you talk about Trandoshan? Because I know there is an actual Bosk.
Yeah, that's Trandoshan. That's the race.
He's the one with the two swords.
Yeah, but then there's also... Then inside of it, like a little floating drone is a Dug, like Sebulba.
Oh, yeah, is that what they're called? They're called Dugs?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm sorry, my brother, who is actually named Doug.
No, it's D-U-G.
I know what you meant. Yeah, there's a Doug in like a... There's this... what kind of droid was that? With the giant minigun?
I've seen that droid before. I think it was an Imperial droid.
It looks somewhat Imperial,
in another thing. And then there was one of those 3 items whose name I can never remember.
And of course, like, in typical Stormtrooper fashion, the Stormtroopers are getting mowed down by this ragtag group of attackers.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, the kid, the village chief, air quote, is like, hey, everyone, get to safety. The guards will take care of this. Yeah. And then... the hooded figure appears, and a female voice, because you can't really tell...
Oh, female voice, that's Lucy Liu.
Is that Lucy Liu? Wait, that was Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like from Kill Bill?
Yeah, and from Charlie's Angels.
Thank you. I couldn't think of another obscure reference.
Futurama, the Lucy Liu bot.
Oh yeah, that's right, Lucy Liu bot.
Oh god.
But anyway, so she just looks around and she's like, wow, this is pathetic. And the boss with the 2 swords is like, hey, surrender and we might let you live. One of my favorite lines she says, oh, you're mistaken. You will surrender, but I won't let you live. And then, ridiculous moment number 1. They start trying to shoot at her, and she gets what looks like a parasol without an actual, like, umbrella, what would you call that? Webbing or whatever.
Cloth or whatever, yeah.
And from it, she turns on her lightsaber. And it's literally just a circle. It's like just...
It's an umbrella.
Yeah, it's an umbrella lightsaber. And she has a thing where it actually spins around, so it's like a shield.
She hops off of the... Doesn't she hops off of the thing with it, doesn't she?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, first she like uses it to defend, to actually show off, hey, this is a lightsaber. Then she actually hops off and uses it as a propeller to go down. And everyone's like, oh no. Oh, by the way, red lightsaber. So every single one of these guys are like, oh no, it's a Sith.
Yeah.
Don't fight her close range. Literally gets force choked and pulled to her.
Yes.
You were saying about close range? Okay, nope. Run, and then gets fucking stabbed.
That's stabbed. Like, she puts the entire parasol umbrella thing through the guy and opens it and sprays blood everywhere. It's an amazingly cool scene. Also, it's like, this is a good time to talk about weird lightsabers. I know, Chris, you don't have too much familiarity with weird people like the fucking Inquisitors with their fucking helicopter blades and shit.
Yeah, helicopter blades. Yeah, no, you're right. You said you've seen like some like the Last Jedi or whatever, or Rise of Skywalker.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, but like Kylo Ren. His lightsaber, you probably have seen it, where it's just like the red blade with the 2 sticking out like a guard.
The halberd guard.
Yeah, there's that one was one of the newer ones. Most Inquisitors, we'll get to that in a moment, have like this, it looks like a double blade with like a circle in the middle. And what happens is it acts like a double blade, but when they turn it on, the 2 blades spin like a propeller.
Yeah.
And that's how they fight. And then there's, the basic one, like literally saw when we first got here at Matt's house.
Yeah, exactly.
I call it the most basic, but it's literally the light saber.
Yeah, it's
not the light propeller blade, not the light umbrella.
Well, dual size lightsaber.
Ella,
oh,
hey!
I was waiting for you to stop that awful thing. But I was gonna say also, even Maul's double bladed lightsaber is really cool.
Well, yeah, but that is, for lack of better terms, that's simplistic. That's an actual double-bladed lightsaber. Mm-hmm. It has no function that's like silly, like Ezra. His was one of my favorite ones.
That's really unique.
His lightsaber that also doubled as a stun gun.
Yeah, it actually has like a little gun part on it where you shoot people with.
But either way, you're going to be seeing a lot of this, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, this might be the weirdest lightsaber we ever see in the whole thing, right?
No, there's one that weirder.
Oh, well,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, we'll get into it.
They got to keep the formula fresh, Like, you can't just have these people with magical powers fighting around with just glowy sticks all the time.
Typical not Force sensitive, calling it magic powers.
Oh, come on. It's the Force.
Magic cornbread.
I was going to say, even vibroblade stuff like the Palace Guards in Last Jedi. They had whip swords like Ivy. They had big halberd axes. They had a whole bunch of really cool stuff.
Okay, this does pose a question. Chris, you asked me about certain things that lightsabers can cut through. Ask this question to him. He'll know better.
Okay, so for a newbie novice to the whole Star Wars universe, answer me this. So my assumption or my impression is that the material, like the lightsaber itself, can, in theory, cut through seemingly any material, any organism, any type of cell. Basically, it can slice through literally anything you can think of, except for another lightsaber. Is this the case?
There is, I believe it's called like corundium, which is like a metal specifically made to stop lightsabers.
Which continuity is this?
Canon, it's canon.
Like, this is actual canon?
Yeah, there's the dark saber, which is technically not normal. There's vibroblades, which are kind of like a pseudo lightsaber energy on a regular sword or whatever, just like around it, like a red energy. And then there, in one of the books that I read with the Grey Jedi and Qui-Gon Jinn, there's a weird fake lightsaber. It's an orange blade, but it kind of just nullifies. Like if it touches a lightsaber, it like turns it off.
Oh.
So there's like a couple of things.
But all of those ones you listed are actual canon.
Those are new, actual, current canon things.
What about actual, like,
those
before
are real.
Canon?
Before...
Like the before Disney took over canon.
Before that, there was just vibroblades, which George Lucas hated, and, like, said, no, nothing can stop a lightsaber, it can cut through anything.
Of course, typical Lucas fashion.
Yeah, of course.
But then, in brand new continuity, going with the Mandalorian...
Yeah.
Beskar,
Beskar
is a metal that can actually repel. But yeah,
it can repel, but it can't stop it.
That's why I told you, like, it depends on the continuity, it depends on the canon.
Yeah, but the Beskar can stop it. It can stop permanent. You can still, like, if a Jedi's actually, like, forcing, they can probably get through it. But it stops them enough to defend yourself.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not, like, it's not immune to a blade, but it's resistant.
Yeah, it's resistant.
Right. And a lightsaber blade, except for the orange one that you were talking about, lightsaber blade cannot be actually cut through. Like two swords, how you can actually break a blade.
Yeah.
Cannot happen with two lightsabers.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, as umbrella-wielding lady, who is wearing stilettos, mind you, this entire time.
Also, she's also wearing like a big
hood.
Hood. Is it just a hood?
Right now she has a hood.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because I was thinking, what was the Jedi's name? Luminara Unduli, the one with that looks like a nun.
Oh, yeah, I forget what that race is, but yeah, she has like a weird big. Oh wait, no, Unduli, so the one who's she had a habit.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about now. But anyway, speaking of which, as Umbrella Sith is doing her thing, she deflects one of the beams and actually hits Ronan's droid.
Yeah.
And he looks at the, what's the alien called? Sullustan? Yeah. Thank you. He looks at the Sullustan and is like, can you repair my droid?
Also, you were spending way longer than the episode describing it.
Right.
But that's fine. It's Star Wars.
He's like, hey, can you fix my droid? The Sullustan's like, yeah, I could. Literally takes a teapot, puts it on the fire, and says, I need him repaired by the time this goes off. And then we get more, the
Sith just obliterating people.
The bandits actually getting the upper hand. And then Umbrella Lady stops and looks.
A robot with a Gatling laser gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, which is one of the
I love
coolest things ever.
the heavy troopers. I forgot. Yeah, those are always so much fun.
But then as more ensues, which this is a really action heavy one. You see the Ronin in like a dark alley, and the Umbrella Sith. I'm just gonna call her that for now. Just looks and is like, huh? You know what? I don't think I know you. You don't look like a villager. And he's like, yeah, I'm just a Ronin. She's like, all right, fine. She goes.
Does she take off?
She takes off the attachment that makes it an umbrella lightsaber.
Absolutely, I've never seen anything like that before in Star Wars.
Right? Yeah.
So weird.
But it was kind of cool knowing that it was an actual attachment, not just the weapon itself.
Yeah,
she pulls it off, and then she goes to attack the Ronin, and the Ronin does something cool that is not really utilized in much of the canon.
Yeah,
he actually the blade gets stopped. Because, like in feudal Japan, the samurai tactic where they clap the blade. Picture that, only he's not touching the blade and using the force.
Yeah, he stops it with just his hand, which is insane.
And of course she's like, wait a minute, you're a Jedi. Oh, it's been a while since I fought a Jedi. She goes to attack, and the Ronin pulls out his blade. Hey, Chris, what color is the blade?
It was red.
Yeah, and it was a cool, actual samurai from the hilt,
the cool, samurai actually pulling out the sword and stopping. And when she realizes it's a red blade, she just immediately calls him a coward.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes, oh, red lightsaber, you're a Sith, right? And then there's, a lot of, the what's the alien?
Which one?
The one with the droid.
The Solistan?
Yeah, Solistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always going to forget that.
He's just freaking
out.
The
Solistan is freaking out. It's like, oh, hey, I should probably fix this droid. Cuts back to, this awesome duel.
Yeah.
Between the Ronin and, this is actually, before they fight some more, that's when the hood comes off and she's got really big afro hair.
Yeah, huge white afro. Very cool character design on her.
Very, very good. And they have more, they get on a log. She
Yeah.
cuts it and they actually, fight on the log.
Yeah, cool ass fucking fight scene.
And all the while, it, focuses on the teapot, which is starting to simmer more and more.
Also the people are still attacking the town. And
they actually capture... the bandits actually capture
everyone and put them in the town square again.
And then
the duel until they hit the waterfall.
Well, right when they get to the waterfall, one of the troopers, I'm just gonna call him, just walks over. Hey, ma'am, we actually got everyone again, and she's all like, "Yeah, well, Ronin, we don't fight fair, so put your blade down, unless you don't care about the villagers." Then one of my favorite moments in this, the tea kettle is going off.
Yeah.
And it's there's a lot of moments of quiet with every once in a while huh? And the tea kettle is going off. And the Ronin goes to sheath his blade, moves his arm towards something, and there's a blue light that appears.
Yeah, he's a gauntlet thing on his wrist.
the droid, who is now fixed at this point,
of course, yeah,
goes ape shit and just flies in, and everyone's like, huh? What this droid? What are this droid?
Yeah.
And it's just multi-missiles.
A bunch of
micro missiles of distraction.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Just blasting everybody. It's the
blast all the bandits.
Mandalorian's wrist rockets.
Oh, the Phoenix missiles or whatever it's called. Yeah.
So cool.
It's just all these micro missiles, and all of the bandits are down, and. The Sith lady's like, I said, put down your weapon. The one guy who's like, we did it, master, gets hit by a micro missile. She's like, what? And all of a sudden you just see the Ronin, reveal his arm.
Exactly.
And she's just like, grrr. And they continue the fight. One attack actually cuts her mask.
Yeah,
so that you actually get to see her face.
Yep.
And then she, I think, she actually pushes him off the waterfall.
Yeah, he falls down seemingly. Yep.
And then he goes back up. Crawls out behind the waterfall.
Yeah. Oh, but actually, I don't know if he's behind the waterfall.
It was because she jumps down. She jumps down, looks around, and she actually and behind the waterfall there's a shrine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we don't know about the shrine yet. But
you actually see it in the background.
She falls down, and then you see a lightsaber light up behind the waterfall.
She uses the force to actually put the log over so that it
splits
clear.
It. And she sees the blade inside. Yep.
She goes over and attacks.
Yeah.
And it's just. The shrine statue holding a lightsaber, and it's just gets cut. And she's like, "What?" Then her eyes just widen a little bit more because she got stabbed in the
samurai
back.
just bam, classic samurai move.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really, and then the statue. There are two red sabers then, correct?
Yes. One detail that Chris didn't realize actually. But when you see the Ronin walking, he actually has like a bigger, like a regular size saber hilt, and a smaller one below that.
Yeah,
which I think was like actually traditional like samurai or Ronin or like a ninja, one of those three. Well, would actually do back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also,
I like how they utilize that too.
I just realized if he was that they knew that he was a Ronin, but like samurai, the whole another Star Wars aspect between master and apprentice. Literally, a Ronin is somebody who like doesn't have a master. Potentially killed their master too, even, and he's a Sith, which is sometimes a thing, and we see at the end when he
at the end, everyone's like, "Oh, that guy's swordsmanship was great," blah blah blah, and they're like, "Hey," and of course the
village chief kid.
No, the Sultan's
like, "Hey,
hey, yeah, your droid. I don't know what happened, but..." And the Ronin literally looks up and sees that the guy's house is destroyed because of the droid. He's like, "Yeah, I think I owe you a little bit more." And then the village chief's son is like, "Hey, thanks. Yeah. We owe you so much." He pulls out his blade. The Ronin does, and it's a red blade. And everyone's like, "Wait, but that's red."
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-oh. He stabs the hilt of the other that he defeated. Pulls out the Kyber crystal.
Yep.
And as he's getting ready to put it in, he opens up his coat, and you just see
a whole
line of red Kyber crystals. But instead of putting it in with his other ones, he just looks at the kid and says, "Hey, you should have this.
It'll protect you from evil." Yeah, that's very funny.
And the kid just accepts it, like red lightsaber is supposed to be a Sith, and then the Ronin in typical like fashion just. With his droid, just walk off. I would say into the sunset, but it's all in black and white.
You can't tell, but that's the end of that.
That's it.
Yeah, a very, very cool video. I love that one.
Wow, yeah, it's only a 15-minute long episode. We're already way half.
Yeah, we talked about this stuff in the middle of it, but
you're right.
But yeah, it was a very, very cool scene. I love that so much. It was probably that was a great way to start it.
It really was.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah,
that was episode 1.
Yep.
That's what they opened Visions with.
It was pretty damn good.
Yeah, what were your favorite parts about it?
I quite enjoyed like the whole like art design and like the clear like feudal Japan inspiration for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that's something I never thought I'd actually see like in Star Wars. Like I don't recall ever seeing Star Wars with like a proper like Japanese like a traditional inspiration in official Star Wars content. Well, like whether it's canon or not.
Right,
and I was noticing that with a bunch of these episodes, and I thought that was really cool, which made me realize, like, oh man, Star Wars is actually, like, getting some Japanese inspiration. I'd watch that anime.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that, because, I mean, all of Visions is literally, like, this studio is a X studio, in this case it was Kamikaze Doga, was like, hey, what if we made Star Wars? Mm-hmm. What if we were the originators, not that Lucas guy? And that would have been what they would have done with Star Wars, kind of thing. Was there anything you didn't like about the first episode? I mean, like, anything that kind of, like, it doesn't, if you don't have anything off the top of your head, that's fine.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind. Like, I don't think there was anything I particularly disliked with any of the episodes, or at least not that I can think of right now.
That's fine.
While some like, compliment for later episodes, this one I didn't have any problem with.
Yeah, same here. Actually, at the end of this, you'll see how I like this episode.
Also, we're going to have to rank them. I assume we're going to do that at the end, of course.
Yeah, that's the thing I was trying to, because I have already ranked my episodes. Although I have to switch it up a little bit because I had it when I first watched it. Then when I rewatched it, I might have to switch a few episodes. But yeah, I did a tier list on my own. This one actually, since we're on that subject, this one's actually, and when I look at my list. It still holds up as my second favorite episode.
The Duel?
Yeah, The Duel is my second favorite. Okay, look. My tier list, the 2 worst episodes are constant. It's everything after that is really hard to do this.
I understand that, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of these episodes were good. And speaking of which, we go to literally...
I'm about to say not speaking of which.
No. Speaking of the tier list that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. The next episode is literally the one I don't like the most.
Yeah,
it is the worst one in my opinion.
Yeah, this is like I think maybe one of my bottom ones definitely.
This one is my bottom one. I know, because I talked to Chris, because I built it up kind of a little bit before we watched it, because I'm like, hey, ready to watch what I think is the worst one ever? Chris, before we actually get into the episode, the second one, you actually kind of liked it, didn't you?
Well, because we probably
it did.
saved it for the actual episode.
No, I just wanted, because for me, because a lot of people on the internet don't do this, where I'm like, you and I are both like, ugh, this episode is horrible. Chris is like, you know what, I actually did kind of like this one. Yeah, differing opinions? Oh no, blasphemy on the internet.
Different opinions. You should listen to Movie Garbage when me and Ed watched the movie I hated and he loved. And then the opposite.
Which one? Because that could be a lot.
Exactly. Well, listen to all the episodes to find out.
Anyway, so now we're going to get to probably the closest to a lot of canon that we're going to get. You'll find out why. Episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody. This studio I've never heard of in my entire life. Studio Colorido.
I think they do the new Pokemon series.
They're the ones that do the new Pokemon
I believe
series.
So, yes.
Okay, because I think, isn't this also the one that does Yokai Watch?
Maybe, yeah.
Because it kind of looks Yokai Watch-ish to me.
Yeah, I think they do work on Pokemon stuff, though.
So, this one starts off very interesting. We get a Jedi running away from Separatist forces.
Well, we don't know what they're running away from.
Oh, I thought it actually
They never
said
explicitly say Separatist.
Okay, never mind. He's running away, and I don't know. Okay, one of the problems I have with this episode, everyone, kids, adults, except for some of the characters, we'll get into that, they all look the same height.
Yeah. It's definitely like a semi-chibi art style, and I quite liked it.
Yeah, okay. But I'm not saying it was horrible. I'm just like, I couldn't tell, especially with the voice acting in this, the English voice acting in this. Please, hey, by the way, if you watch this episode, please watch it in Japanese. It's going to be 10 times better.
I bet it's going to be the exact same quality regardless.
Anyway.
We'll talk more for one.
So, as this Jedi is running away, he falls down and lands in a compartment or something full of musical instruments and stuff.
He is greeted by a large, which took me for a while to realize, a hut.
Really? It took you a while to realize he was a hut?
Yeah, it did, because he's so off-model from any other hut I've seen.
He's a kid.
Is he, though?
Yeah, he actually is a
because
kid.
Compared to fucking Stinky from Clone Wars and Zero, the hut, this motherfucker looks weird.
We'll get to the weirdest one. But anyway, and all of a sudden, this random shadow, which you find out is a hut later on, he's like, hey, what are you?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we get the main characters and then it cuts to present day, quote unquote, where he is now the lead singer of a rock group.
Yeah, with the hut.
The hut named Guy.
A droid.
A droid. I forget.
I didn't catch her name. What was it?
Lana?
Curdy? There was Curdy.
Curdy was the droid. The drummer. What alien race is that?
I believe he's a weird mutant Deveronian.
Yeah, because he's literally one set of legs, 3 torsos.
Yeah, I believe it's just a kind of weird mutant Deveronian.
Yeah, that one was Lan. The drummer was Lan.
Yeah, Curdy was the droid, yeah.
Yeah, and Curdy was the droid, and I forget what the little teeny tiny droid that sounded as the speaker.
Like RD8, TD8, something like that.
Some droid.
V5, that's what there was.
V5?
V5, yeah.
Yeah, V5, okay. And, they're at some weird little school shindig, I like to call it, because there's a lot of kids just I dig this.
Yeah, a lot of
he's just
party people.
Yeah, this is the introduction to our band. And, his singing.
I'm gonna say
his singing.
It's very I'm gonna say shitty J-Rock. Very shitty J-Rock.
Shitty English J-Rock.
It would have been bad and shitty, I think, in Japanese. Legit, I hate that kind
Surprisingly enough, I have a friend who's not here.
Yeah.
Chris has met him. Corey.
Yeah.
He actually watched he watched this as well.
Uh-huh.
He actually says it's a hell of a lot, 10 times better in Japanese.
I'll take his word for it because
that's the only thing I can do because I wanted to watch these in Japanese, but I didn't get the time to. But anyway,
jacked ass J-Rock, I'm not a fan of.
Wow, you know what? I hope this gets picked up on the mic. Way to go! You named Genesis, my friend. You named Genesis,
the true hero of.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, getting off side, and they're like, yeah, we're a rock band, and gets interrupted because Boba Fett appears.
Oh, also they keep not saying his name, which is weird. It's Curdy on the guitar, and it's Lan on the drums, and it's G on the whatever, and then it's my name's, and then feedback mic, and they never say his name for a bunch.
for a while. Quote unquote.
I think his name is Jay. Like I
They
think,
eventually say
I think
that.
during some conversation they address him.
Yeah, eventually.
Right, yeah, but like for I don't know, for some reason, for like the first like
maybe to keep it
maybe
nebulous
half
they
of
canon
this,
or
yeah.
not, I don't know.
But either way, Boba
Boba
Fett appears.
Fett
Like,
busts in, everyone's like, whoa, shit. And then
well,
he
it's Boba Fett,
attacks
and he's
them.
like, "Hey, you Hut." Looks at Guy. "Hey, you Hut. Your Jabba wants you, and I'm gonna take you in."
Yeah.
And there was like, "Oh yeah, well, you're gonna have to fight." And they like apparently they like do some little short fight scene
Very,
with
very
Boba Fett,
Yeah, of
and
course.
somehow run away from him. Somehow, these children.
I don't think they're children. I assume that they're adults.
I don't know. It's hard
Even
to
though
tell with
the
this.
guy had a Padawan braid, so I guess he's a kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the beginning he did, yeah, but I'm just like, you know what? I honestly don't know because the art style, they're so chibi. I'd like to think that even Boba Fett was a child because of his size, but and then they run away. They actually get away somehow from Boba Fett.
Yeah, and
from
they, like,
Boba frickin'
they
Fett.
don't get away because you never get away from them. But,
we're getting there.
but yeah, he just they go to some weird junkyard.
Yeah,
place.
they go to a weird junkyard, and of course, Jay, because that's his name. I don't know if they say it now, but his name's Jay. He's like, "Man, wouldn't that be awesome if we actually finished the gig?" And they're all like, "Yeah, you know, it's a bit of a downer, but you know, whatever." And then as they're flying, still before they get to the junkyard, they got followed by Boba frickin' Fett because. How did you say it?
Yeah, nobody gets away from Boba Fett.
Yeah, nobody gets away from him. Oh, by the way, sorry, side note. Slave Zero.
You mean Boba Fett's ship?
Yeah, what's its name now?
It's called Boba Fett's ship.
I thought it actually had a name.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And it was Slave 1 before.
Slave 1, sorry, I called it the Slave Zero. Yeah, it used to be Slave 1. And then Disney was like, "Nah, we're gonna change it to something not slave." I'm like,
Boba Fett's ship.
I'm like, are you
I think
serious?
that's some kind of designation, like KT-09 model or whatever the fuck.
I thought it actually had a different name.
I think I've seen them. I've seen like the Lego thing. I think it was just called like Boba Fett's ship. And I'm just like, all right. Just like what was it? Who's that fucking football team that's just called the blah 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 football team now?
I guess sure, okay.
No, it's a real thing. They like their name was offensive. It was some Native American thing.
You're talking about the Washington Redskins?
No, it was one of the many awfully named teams, but they changed the name to the
Cleveland Indians. Oh wait, that's baseball.
It was the blank football or the blank baseball team or blank football team. Like that's what their name is now. It's like so stupid.
Anyway, getting off topic
Of
here.
course, yeah.
And of course, Boba Fett. For a moment, because I can understand why you felt this way. Because one of the things you told me, Chris, was a lot of these episodes seem to have like a hand-wavy kind of thing for the story.
Well, because they are isolated stories and they're only 15 minutes long. There's little bits of story that you might want to potentially know to know more detail about it, but because they have such limited time, they kind of just have like hand-wavy explanations for like what's going on and like why people are doing these things or where they came from and whatnot.
Yeah. I was gonna say we didn't talk about in the previous episode of how we would rank it in the like a full series or if it was a standalone or kind of in between. I would say that was kind of a concise story that we don't need to know anything more about.
Right. Well, in this one, because you had trouble catching on to this, and I can understand why they kind of gloss over it. You actually do get the reason why Boba Fett was supposed to get Guy, because apparently very glossed over. Guy didn't believe in Hutt tradition, and he didn't want to join Jabba the Hutt. And Jabba the Hutt got mad.
So he's being he was queued up for execution for the crime of not being a Hutt.
Yeah, for not joining Jabba's syndicate.
Yeah, it's very bizarre because I don't think he has any other Hutts with him.
If you watch Clone Wars, there is an actual circle
I've seen it.
of
Yeah,
Hutts.
I've seen Mama the Hutt. I've seen Zero. I've seen Stinky the baby. Yeah, I'm saying I know the Hutts. But I love Zero.
But
by the way,
that's the
Zero the
syndicate
Hutt's
that they were
hilarious.
talking about.
Yeah. But I'm saying they wouldn't kill another Hutt for not being. Whatever. It's just a weird standalone anime thing.
We don't know. We don't really know Hutts very well.
Well, we do know a lot of Hutts with all their pencil mustaches.
No. know
voices.
Hutt. We don't know Hutt society, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we see Mama the Hutt when they have that big giant meeting of all the capos and like a fucking Italian mob scene in Clone Wars.
So
anyway,
so what I kind of imagine, so I imagine that the interaction between like Jabba and Gi kind of went down with something like. Jabba says like, you must be a Hutt, you must be follow tradition, become the next like mafia leader like I am, and then Gi's just like, but Jabba, I don't want to be a Hutt, I just want to
BAM!
I just want to
BAM! That's the joke. He doesn't even get to finish his thing, and he's just shot in the head.
Yeah. I just want to sing.
Never.
No, stop that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Gi gets taken by Boba Fett because nobody crosses Jabba, and Jabba's like, what did they do to my little baby boy?
Yeah, they massacred my boy. But
they massacred my boy.
Obviously, we spent way too much time on this particular episode. Because I was going to say, what's his name? No, not Gi. Jay. When Boba Fett comes up and takes him, he finally comes out and tries to confront him with his old lightsaber, which we saw didn't work in the past. And he is unable to activate the saber. And, Boba Fett's just like, yeah, don't even try, dude. As they leave and takes him on the ship. Back inside, the rest of his crew is kind of like, should we go after them? Should we pursue them? Like, what are we going to do? We can't just leave him to his own fate. And they're like, no.
Oh, yeah, but it's funny because, what's the droid's name?
Curdy?
Yeah, Curdy.
Yeah.
Curdy's just like, hey, maybe we just got lucky and our luck ran out. We're just the band. And of course, that made main character go out and have a yell in the rain.
Yeah, anime yell.
Which, by the way, funny. It was already raining. Boba Fett takes Gi, rain intensifies. And, he's just like having an anime pro tag yell. He's like, You're right, we're just a band. Cut the Tatooine, where this is the character that has the weirdest design ever. Gi is, getting ready for, and then the freaking Twi'lek male that's with,
Bib Fortuna?
Jabba. What?
Bib Fortuna?
Bib is his name? Yeah, Bib Fortuna. That guy looks like he's got the 1,000-yard
he's like
stare.
Big giant red. Well, he has like weird red eyes, but he's like chibi anime. It's extra creepy.
Well, yeah, but see, here's the thing: in like actual Star Wars, he looks normal, sort of, because he can
was
actually.
Kind of crazy.
Well, he was, but he could actually be expressive with he had. This guy literally is like constant straight face with fangs, seen some shit, kind of like.
Yeah, Bib looks
constantly, insane. And but all of a sudden. He just, Bib Fortuna, because apparently that's a name.
You have to say the full name.
Yeah, well, no, he said just apparently that's a name. He just walks over and takes off the cuffs. And Gi's like, what's going on? And Jay's like, from behind with the whole crew's like, hey, you get to perform before you die, so make this count.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the, what are the space pirates that,
Weequay?
That Weequay? Yeah. Oh, what's his name from, Rebels?
Is there a Mrs. Weequay?
Oh god, what the hell is his name?
Points for that.
Yeah, exactly. I know
Hondo.
Hondo, he has a ride at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I know he does. But anyway, that race. You said they're called the Weequay?
Yeah, they're Weequay.
Yeah, you see a bunch of a Weequay pointing a gun at Jay because he looks like he's holding a lightsaber. He's like, guys, relax. Turns it on. It's just a microphone. It's just a mic.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
I would say that was silly. But
and then, of course, they perform a really horrible song.
Another shitty J-Rock song, yeah.
And everyone's like, dude, this song's awesome. I'm like, you clearly are from the desert. And, dude, I thought was hilarious? Like, everyone's like, hey, look, listen to these guys.
They're playing it on the radio. They're playing it in the
cantina. And I like it because you actually see a group of disgruntled whatever they are that play the cantina song.
Yeah, I forgot what the hell their race is called.
Yeah, but they kind of
look the Jizz Band.
The what?
Jizz music. Come on. It's called
Jazz.
No, it's called Jizz. How'd you not know that? Yeah.
Wow.
In Star Wars, the music that they play.
I thought you were being really crude with a joke here.
No,
no. I'm sorry.
It's called Jizz Wailing.
That's the canon name?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Is it actually spelled like jazz only without an A?
It's spelled an I, yes.
Oh my Lucas, God. What the hell were you thinking?
He is very stupid. Max Rebo's band in the palace. Yeah, it's called Jizz Wailing.
Okay, we're done. Okay, and anyway, so after they perform, we see Weequay getting ready to shoot Gi. And then Jay, I don't know how this worked. because it's
they're
freaking Jabba the Hutt. Hey, Jabba, we're gonna be #1 band. Be our first sponsor. And all the crowd's just like, play that crappy song. Play that crappy song. And Jabba's just like, okay, you know what?
I'll allow it.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just like, yeah, I'll allow it. And everyone's like, yeah, we're dancing. We're having fun. You see like a Twi'lek and, what's the guy, the Uta Duta solo. What is that alien race?
The music ones, or
No, Greedo.
Oh, yeah, Greedo's race.
What's Greedo's race?
I forgot. I knew what they called it.
Yeah, because that's another dancer. There's like a Twi'lek dancer. There's like one of those, and even Boba Fett's nodding his head like, "I like this." I'm like, "How?"
And even freaking Jabba's smacking his tail to the beat a little bit.
And that's how it ends.
And the episode's like, yeah, the band made it. They're gonna live. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, next episode.
No.
This one, I'll say, just like the first, I'll say, is a concise
We're not even on the third episode yet.
No. I'm not saying third episode. I'm saying we have to rank the first one, which I said it was like a concise story. I feel like this one, I also feel like is a concise. I don't need to see any more of this.
Okay, no, I mean, and I'll agree. If there's any good thing I'm gonna say about this, the animation style, although kind of weird with it, but it was good.
The little,
like the chibified everyone was kind of throwing up, but
very cute.
It was a very good, very cute art style, and not gonna lie, just the story was concise. There was a point A to point B, not like the next episode, and that's all the good I can say. The voice acting was atrocious. The song was absolutely atrocious. Like, if they didn't sing and just played the music, that would have been better.
I like the designs of the characters. It's probably the best thing I'll say about it. Yeah, I think Curdy looked really cool.
Yeah, Curdy as a droid.
That weird Deveronian land looked weird, even though they never explain why he's a weird mutant.
Okay, look, I know this is Star Wars, and I know this means nothing, but you know what I was saying a lot throughout Visions? Mm-hmm. You're a droid. Stop having emotions.
Well,
I know.
Did you see Solo yet?
No. Oh, God, no.
Solo is one of my favorites, but also I was going to say, you find out
spin-off movie.
Yeah. You find out that, droids do need to be wiped. It's also been canon for a while now.
Well, yeah.
They do develop their own, real independence if they're left too long, but, one of the main characters in that is a droid who's just, straight up for, droid freedom and trying to free every droid she sees and, telling droids, don't be a slave to these horrible humans. We gotta rise up against them.
Rogue One.
And Solo. Oh, yeah.
Resistance is futile. As he's saving them.
Yeah, exactly. But the droids do get more and more independent the longer they're not wiped. So
Chris,
it makes sense.
Episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody. What are your thoughts?
I quite liked the art style. It definitely came across as like I said before, like a cool chibi art style, which I thought was kind of it was kind of cute. It made all the characters, including Boba Fett and Jabba, more, I guess, cartoony than I would have expected them to see, especially in a potentially, what I imagine a Star Wars official anime would look like. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was quite good. The story was okay. I didn't mind the singing too much. I figured that, if I was listening it in Japanese, I'd probably like it more. That said, I feel like the English dubbers did the best job they could with the singing and the lyrics, at least. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, kudos to them. I probably would have enjoyed the Japanese lyrics more, but they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I appreciated the way the animation style, I appreciated the character designs, but this is definitely my least favorite of the whole series.
Yeah. Now, you're going to think this is crazy. Mm-hmm. He thought this was crazy. But now we're going to go to episode 3, which is literally my second least favorite episode.
I'm going to agree with you.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. I was going to say, before we get into this episode, I know you, Ben, like Studio Trigger.
Oh, dude, Trigger's amazing. Gurren Lagann is one of my favorite Trigger. And here's the offset one, because I know we like to make a joke. Inferno Cop, anyone?
Of course. I was going to say... I hate Studio Trigger.
You do?
I do not like
any
of their stuff.
Okay, stop. Before I castrate you.
Yeah.
Before I castrate you.
I knew this was going to come, yeah.
Defend your position.
I do not I tried to watch Kill la Kill. I tried... I tried to watch Gurren Lagann. I tried to watch Space Patrol Luluco. I've seen enough GIFs from Inferno Cop. I don't like their style. I don't like their energy. It's too much. I do not like the animation quality. I do not like the lack of actual good or interesting characterization in any of their stuff. Yeah, it can be very pretty. Yeah, the action is very interesting looking. But, like, yeah, I cannot stand Studio Trigger. They are my least favorite anime studio, and I've never finished one of their series, even the short ones.
Okay, so I'm gonna level with you with, like, say Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
And what was the Space Patrol one you said?
Space Patrol Luluco.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, and Penny and Stocking I also could not get through.
That was Trigger?
Yeah.
Huh, I actually didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But have you tried Gurren Lagann?
I've literally watched to that halfway point people always say, and I was just like, I can't deal with this anymore.
And you want me
I'm
to be
out of here.
And you want me to be honest?
Yeah, I know it's a very unpopular opinion because they are very loved, very established, like a very high pedestal studio, but I don't like any of their animation at all.
Now before Chris put the lightsaber down.
Yeah,
but I can understand that because Gurren Lagann for me, I like it because I was with a big group of people. Chris can attest to this because he was one of those people in that group of people who watched it because we were in anime club in Bowling Green. When I first watched Gurren Lagann, so that one kind of has a soft spot for me because I actually was with a lot of people who enjoyed it as well because that does make a difference too, surprisingly enough.
I was going to say, on that specifically, I think Chris, back when we barely knew each other, I think you, me, and maybe Ed or Dwayne or somebody else came to your place, I think, and we watched a little bit of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah. We did that a little bit. I do know that...
like years ago, probably 10 years ago.
I think a little bit of Gurren Lagann, yeah, and then I think after that we started going to some other dude's house. He had I remember he had... It was, I think it was just a one-story house, but it was fairly big. He had a huge living room, a big entertainment center, and we would go over there I think a couple of weeks to watch a handful of episodes of Gurren Lagann together. I could not tell you who it was. I know I was there, Ed was there, you were probably there.
Yeah. I was only there for 1 or 2 times. I never stuck around for the show.
I do not remember whose house it was.
Yeah. But as you're saying, I've seen. I've gotten a good amount. I've almost finished Kill la Kill, but I could not I don't like any of their story or character stuff, and I just can't. And, the energy's too weird for me. I've never been a fan of Trigger. So this one, but also I was gonna say, seeing trailers and seeing the
this was one of the posters.
Seeing that the weird female Sith with the multiple arms, I was very interested in. I was like, that seems very fucking Studio Trigger. But she looks very interesting. I'm curious what the hell's going on with this dynamic. But then, of course, watching it, I'm just like, that was definitely a Studio Trigger anime.
Yeah, alright, Trigger is very good at conveying, epicness and scale.
Yeah.
And, over the top. They're very good at that.
I'm going to say,
dear listeners.
They definitely love their hype, which I'm not crazy about.
Now, dear listeners, the reason why we're talking about Trigger so much is because Episode 3... The twins is actually done. No, that's good. It adds a little flair. Is actually done by Studio Trigger. Now, before we get into this episode, there's something that I have stressed with Chris that you notice watching Visions. There are 2 different sides to Trigger: Gurren Lagann and normal. To you viewers who haven't seen this, put your expectations on 0 because this is Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what do we start off with? No. Hold on a second, Matt. There's a reason for this.
So,
Chris, what's the first thing we see in this episode?
Well, so first, we start off in space, and we see very, very large ships of some kind.
They're Star Destroyers, right?
Well, Star Destroyers.
Yes, they are Star Destroyers. Joined together at the hip, almost literally.
Yeah.
And I did when I first saw this, I did not have that term in my lexicon, or rather, I just didn't. I couldn't think of the term at the time. So what I originally called it, the first thing I called them was Dual Imperial Starfleet ships.
I literally had to pause the episode, and I was like, I have to put this in my notes. What the hell did you just call it?
Yep. Dual Imperial Starfleet ships.
Yeah.
All right.
Highly impractical design.
Yes. We'll find out what it is later, but we see a cloaked figure with another astro droid.
Yeah.
Just casually walking through this giant crystal.
Yeah, a giant, presumably kyber crystal.
Well, a crystal.
Yeah.
And they just like, it's just like the Studio Trigger one-eye anime protagonist, like, aha! And then we see this weird black C-3PO looking guy talking to an armored, like a dark armored individual, being like, "Oh, Master M, we're almost we're done almost done with the hyper cannon." And this is where Studio Trigger issue number one hits. Mm-hmm. Huge exposition dumps.
Yeah.
First, we find out that this Star Destroyer is actually a Gemini class. Yeah, which is why they're like
two weird.
Yeah, like that's why they're like conjoined at the hip.
Yeah, two weird. I was gonna say this like there was like some very artsy for Studio Trigger shots at the beginning of like it's called. You first see the twins, and then you see you see a Star Destroyer with a weird circle on it. You see there's two of those. Cuts to a double hallway, and then goes to another double shot, being like double twin. There's two things.
Double twin.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Gemini twin. We get it. You're a twin. Pretty much.
Yeah,
and then after that, we also get an exposition dump about Master M and her brother Master Kare. Thank you, Kare, and how they are twins born of the dark side.
Yeah.
Chris, how did you put it?
Yes. I believe I also just like as they were explaining their backstory and how they were apparently literally like genetically created to serve the dark side.
Yeah.
Like they were actual twins and like genetically engineered, and so I called them Dark Lord Petri Dish twins.
Well,
yes,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And of course that's exposition dump number 2. They're twins, literally born in a petri dish to serve the dark side.
Yep.
And then, oh, you thought you were done? Those of you who are veterans with Trigger will know to just sit on back down because there's a third exposition dump.
Yep.
The crystal, the power source, which is a kyber, which I believe this is when you find out it's a large kyber crystal that powers this entire Gemini class Star Destroyer. That also powers the dark suits, is going to be highly concentrated, overpowered to cause a beam of Death Star destroying planet proportions.
Yeah, they don't specifically say dark side.
They don't say Death Star, but it's literally a laser that acts just like that laser.
One thing I found particularly amusing of that is that the visual they use to present the flow of energy. So my ADHD brain only partially processed that image and saw what I saw was there was a beam of energy that flowed from the armor and going into the laser, leading me to initially believe that these were just armor-powered planet-destroying lasers.
Yes, so on the visual, like I understood this. I understand where he's coming from. It's like the crystal. The power goes to the armor. The power that is in the armor goes to the cannon.
Yeah, exactly.
The armor itself powers the lasers.
Okay, check
now,
out.
after all of this, and after this weird, Sith-looking C-3PO is like, I'm almost to tears. Oh, you serve the dark side very well, Master M, and blah blah blah, blah blah blah. You're evil.
Your resolve is unflinching. I love you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Notice me, senpai. Blah blah blah. I've never seen anything like this before.
This is when M mentions she wonders where her brother is.
Oh, not yet. Because they're like, hey, we're going to power the cannon.
Yeah.
And we're going to actually fire it. And then one of the guys is like, hey, so the power source is gone.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, that's when a C-3PO guy is like, hey, wait a minute. Where's Master Kare?
And then like a fucking comedy shot from Modern Family. She looks over at the other Star Destroyer, zooms in the window, and his chair's empty and turns to her.
Empty and spinning. And now, Chris pointed this out. What is Master Kare doing with the power source? He was walking casually.
Yeah,
like he was just, be cool. Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry, man.
Just be cool. Nobody will see us. Then the door opens and there's like 10 stormtroopers.
Yeah,
Stormtroopers. Whatever, dude. I just love it. It's like in comedic fashion. Dude, I'm just casually walking, in plain sight with the one thing that powers everything. Don't worry. Wait, Droid has a bad feeling about this? By the way, Star Wars Visions, the English dub cast, they drop a lot of freaking Star Wars quotes.
Of course.
What? You have a bad feeling about this? Don't worry.
Chris, you may not know, but I have a bad feeling about this is said in literally every single one of the 9 movies.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's just like a weird thing that keeps happening over and over again.
Yeah, but of course, like Chris said, don't worry, nothing can possibly go wrong. Door opens, 10 stormtroopers just standing there.
Like, it definitely feels like a tropey phrase.
Oh, yeah,
it really, heavily. And of course, and what does he do? He just keeps casually walking.
Yeah, they say, hey, you better stop. We're going to shoot you if you don't stop. All right, everybody get ready to shoot.
Set guns to stun. And then they actually shoot, and we get something cool.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot the stun beams, but, using the Force, they are literally stopped in midair. That part was cool.
Yeah.
Like, using Force, and then, of course, in typical Stormtrooper fashion, keep firing. They don't fire at all.
Yeah, of course. You just
keep firing. Literally a 5-second pause of them not firing, and then one fell swoop, all 10 stormtroopers just pushed to the wall.
Yeah, of course. Knocked out as always.
Yeah.
Since they're that powerful.
Don't worry.
I gotta say that the only beams that we've seen fire from their guns were aimed straight at him, so their accuracy was on point, which is a significant for stormtroopers is a significant improvement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Too bad they can't ever hit anything, because if they have very good aim, they're stopped by the Force. If they have poor aim, they just miss entirely.
They would have hit Kare if Kare didn't have that stupid Force thing.
Yeah, of course. The Force just stops them all the time.
And then, of course, Kare's in the deck bay and whatever, and he's like, all right, cool. I forget what insert droid name.
I have no idea what his droid is called. Yeah.
Insert droid name here, because everything has to have a droid name. Insert droid name here. Yeah, we're in the clear. Immediately, 100 stormtroopers with 2 of the ATSTs.
Yeah.
With Am and weird C-3PO guy just walking in.
N or something like that.
Whatever. I just call him evil C-3PO, because that's what he is. Yeah. He's a protocol droid. And Am's like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And Kare's like, nothing. And Am's like, give it.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And Am's like, give it here and we can ignore this. And B23579 protocol droid, whatever name, is like, oh, I'm so very disappointed. Yeah. And then, of course, Kare's like, I can't let you have this, right? And as they were talking, the weird astro droid actually left because Kare told him to. And then you see an X-wing,
they have X-wings docked on their thing instead of TIE fighters.
Oh no! All of them were TIE fighters. It's just his ship was just an X-wing.
Dumb.
Yeah, I know, right? and then the X-wing fires lasers, and then another kind of cool scene, because I like the scenes with the Force in this.
Of course.
Where
he runs.
Kare starts running towards, and Am literally blocks the lasers with a barrier.
Yeah, that makes very cool.
That makes the lasers swirl, and then literally just hits the 2 ATSTs instead. Okay, and then of course Kare leaves the docking bay on top of the X-Wing before he gets in.
Yeah. Question
number 1.
Yeah.
How the hell is he breathing in space?
There's no real trigger. That's the real reason. But you could say the Force or whatever.
No, you cannot. I am not.
They have bullshit MC powers. It's fine.
Yeah, of course.
I am not, because I still do not abide by the whole Princess Leia floating in space.
Oh yeah, it's canon. It happened
unharmed.
before. Yeah, that happens.
No,
too bad.
I do not agree with.
I'm gonna say Vader flew through space before in the books.
He has a helmet on at least.
Also, he probably doesn't need to breathe. He's fucking half cyborg.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has a reason. You could actually bullshit a reason, and I would believe it. This guy is flesh and Palpatine, maybe. I don't know. He's a petri dish baby.
We'll talk about the actual concept of
anyway.
But we'll just fucking for trigger action bullshit.
And then of course, we get oh no, Am's using the Force to try to get the crystal, and it's stopping us.
She's also standing on top of the Star Destroyer.
With her armor on, so she could have some kind of oxygen tank on it. Now, at least hers makes sense. And of course, as this is happening, Kare jumps out of the X-Wing.
I assume that they're still just in the Star Destroyer's atmosphere or whatever the fuck.
There is no atmosphere on the man-made thing.
There's people breathe in and out of the thing. Remember they were
inside they do.
Yeah.
Inside they do. Not outside, not in the space.
Force fields.
Anyway.
Magic.
Sorry. If we go with every incontinuity with this episode, my head will split.
Well,
literally.
yeah. That's freaking...
Anyway.
Yeah, that's Trigger. Anyway.
Well, that's Gurren Lagann Trigger. I mean, heck, we're talking about a studio who made a giant mecha that literally throws galaxies at something.
Yeah, they never make any sense.
But anyway, so and then as this is happening, Am is having the blah blah blah, we're evil, blah blah blah, and Kare's like blah blah blah, I'm actually a good guy.
Yeah, no.
And then
we find out the reason why he's doing any of this is because, as always in Star Wars, he had a vision that he's trying to prevent.
He had a vision that he's trying to prevent, and then. Question number 2, because as they're doing their fighting and things, her helmet comes off and she's breathing in space. How the hell is she breathing in space?
Okay, Star Destroyer atmosphere.
Also, she has long blonde hair, so I'm guessing they're like fraternal twins?
No, he could just cut his hair.
Oh, I guess. So maybe he dyes hair at some point.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're both blonde.
Yeah, they're both blonde.
Well, his was
more bleached.
Like bleach blonde.
Yeah, he probably bleaches.
Well, either way, and by the way,
if not white.
And by the way, viewers, this whole breathing in space thing ain't even the craziest thing.
No,
so anyway, they're having like a force duel, trying to pull the crystal, and it shatters.
Do they shoot with lightning first? I think they both shoot. She's using the force lightning, and he starts using force lightning as well.
Yeah.
No,
not
yet. No, they don't do the lightning thing because he just starts pulling and she starts pulling. It's when the crystal breaks, he gets the small piece, she gets the big piece.
Yeah.
Because and then of course that's when the vision happens.
Yeah.
Where she's like, wait, what's going on? Is that me? Because as she was doing things, she's kind of going crazy, and lightning is shooting out of her armor.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, what's this? He's like, yeah, I knew this was gonna happen, so I wanted to save you. That's why I took the kyber crystal. And she's like, oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah,
I don't fear death. She takes the giant kyber crystal, inserts it into herself, lightning shoots everywhere, and this is when we get to see, of all the ridiculousness, actually something kind of cool.
Yeah.
Her armor has 6 Grievous arm looking things, each with a lightsaber or
a weird lightsaber whip.
Lightsaber whips.
Light whips, as Chris called it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, for those of you who have an elementary style of Star Wars, lightsabers don't do that. They can't.
There was at a point in the old canon, KOTOR times and shit, there were whip-like lightsabers, but that's not canon A, and neither of this, so it doesn't make a difference.
Anymore, it's not.
Yeah.
Except for they're remaking KOTOR.
Which I'm hyped for. Which we didn't even talk about. We didn't even talk about Star Wars Eclipse.
and KOTOR was mentioned.
KOTOR? What do you think it weird? It's KOTOR.
And KOTOR actually did get mentioned. The continuity of that story did get mentioned in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Rebels.
how is it not canon?
That's what I said.
Anyway, back on topic, which is off topic.
Yeah.
She goes all crazy.
She uses laser whips around her dings, around his lightsaber. Is this lightsaber red still or is it blue?
No. In this case, because before, as she was going crazy and powering up with the crystal, he actually changes his kyber crystal to the shard that he just got. Because we get rainbow lightsaber.
Yeah, I missed a gigantic, stupid giant.
Well, no, not even that. It is regular lightsaber size, but his is a special lightsaber because of MC bullshit powers.
Yeah.
Because he can extend the blade to ridiculous length.
In true anime trope fashion.
A rainbow lightsaber, which does not exist, mind you, with a blade that you can extend to ridiculous heights, which does not exist, mind you.
Yeah.
And of course, they're fighting and everything. And now, they're still fighting and everything, and he wants to save his sister, and blah, blah, blah. I'm the main character, and I'm a good guy. So this is when the ridiculous level, which is already at a 20, mind you, on a scale of 1 to 5, is already at 20. When we crank this bitch up to 35.5.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I don't have enough, power to, break the little thing on her chest to, destroy the crystal. What am I going to do? Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop, boop. Oh, you're right. I should stand on the hood of my X-Wing, still breathing in space, and you should punch the hyperspeed.
Yeah, do the hyperspeed.
Now,
thing
the way I described this
Jedi.
to Chris, very small scale, mind you.
Mm-hmm. I'm
like, just so you know, first off, if you're going to think hyperspace, think ludicrous speed from Spaceballs.
Really,
but,
that's like...
no. But if you want to put this in real life terms, picture you sitting on the hood of a NASCAR race car and it going full speed.
Yeah,
that's a very small scale, but that's virtually what's going to be happening.
Yeah, it's impossible and makes no sense. Did he not get in the thing by the time they went to the hyperspace thing through the Star
he was outside. He was on the hood this entire
time. From the beginning of the charge, he was on the hood.
That was so stupid.
And so he charges, and I made a very tasteless joke to Chris about this, but he extends this thing so large, it cuts the entire Star Destroyer, and somehow, with perfect precision, he uses just the tip to break the tiny little spot on her chest and destroy the crystal.
Yeah, in true Trigger fashion, he went like, Giga Drill! Lightsaber!
Yeah, it was so ridiculous.
And then the hyperspeed kicks in. My tasteless joke, because any anime fan would have made this joke. Their brother and sister. Of course he'd use just the tip.
God, that's the worst. I'm probably going to edit that out of this episode.
Oh, we've had worse.
Oh, yeah.
Remember our Berserk episode?
But yeah, it's
anyway,
a very stupid, overhyped, crazy action thing. Where he's like shouting some crazy bullshit about you believe in your own destiny or whatever. Platitude.
Yeah. And then
he yells some stupid platitude about believing in yourself or something.
Typical anime. But after the hyperspeed kicks in, we see Am floating in space, still without a helmet.
Yeah.
How the hell is she still breathing in space? And then no, here's the stupid part. The droid flies to her wearing a helmet.
Is the droid wearing a helmet?
Yes, he is wearing a fucking breathing helmet.
Oh,
he is a droid. Saves Am. Then we go to Tatooine, where
or some desert planet. It's obviously Tatooine.
It's Tatooine. It's Star Wars. It's a desert planet. It's Tatooine. Where what's his name? Kare. Thank you.
Talking to a stupid droid.
Oh yeah, he wakes up.
Yeah.
Alive, because not only did he live by breathing in space somehow, not only was he able to stand on the hood of his X-Wing while in hyperspeed, but he survived the atmospheric going into a planet.
Yep.
He didn't burn up.
Yeah.
He wakes up and he's like, in typical Star Wars bullshit, yeah, don't worry, my sister's alive. I can feel her.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that she's floating around in space without armor, and a lack of oxygen, the lack of air pressure, and the lack of heat, she's probably fine.
Yeah, so I'll see her again.
That's when the episode ends.
Yep.
Now, the way I described this, because my friend Corey, he's a good fan of Gurren Lagann and stuff, and I can understand why we all have our opinions. Mm-hmm. He highly regards this episode.
I'm sure they do.
Me. Look, I'm a fan of ridiculous, crazy nonsense in an anime. Mm-hmm. I'm all for like the crazy action scenes and all that stuff. Lack of continuity with the story, plus illogical everything going on. Even the action scenes could not save this. Yeah. The only two things I can give this episode, why it's my second least one, because it's only higher than Tatooine Rhapsody in my list because of the action scenes. The only two things I can give is the art style is good, and the action scenes are ridiculous. You know, the two most important things in an anime. The two things that
Trigger does all the time,
Yeah, those are the only two things Trigger ever has going for it, personally. The story makes no goddamn sense.
Nope.
Too much incontinuity going on.
The characters are, I think Am looked cool. Kare was the most cliche, nothing platitude spouting idiot I've ever seen in that fucking Studio Trigger thing. No offense, Chris, I know you like Trigger, but that motherfucker sucked. I hated watching him on the screen. Kari sucked.
I'll admit, I'm heavily biased toward Trigger.
Of course. Yeah, like I said, it's a very popular studio, and a lot of people like this stuff. That's why I tried Gurren Lagann like more than once, even after our like one time. I tried Kill la Kill several times. I just cannot get through their stuff, and this is like perfect like little micro encapsulation of why I don't like their stuff, because like,
it's very high energy.
Yeah.
But now we've had our opinions. Chris,
Yeah.
episode 3, which by the way, when we were watching this episode last night, this was the longest episode we had because we kept pausing it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
But speaking of long episodes, we're already at, what, an hour and a half, and we're only in the third of 9 episodes.
Whatever, dude. Whatever.
The next couple are very plot thin, though, so... well, the next one is.
Anyway, I gave him a glare.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, episode 3, The Twins.
Yes.
What are your opinions on it? Except for, well, aside from the 2 coined phrases that you had.
Right. So, it's not my favorite episode, but and the story was serviceable. Yeah, me being like I said, heavily biased in Trigger. I loved Gurren Lagann. I love most Trigger animes.
Okay.
I like the high energy epic scale bit of it is probably what drew me the most. Like I said, the story wasn't particularly engaging. Like it was okay. It was good enough. But yeah, I didn't necessarily have any issues with it. I thought that like the lightsaber whips in like Dr. Octopus fashion was pretty cool. The rainbow lightsaber that became the Giga Drill that pierced the heavens, and also
That pierced the heavens.
the entire Star Destroyer, and just the very tip of Am's armor. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yep, it was a very, very cool action sequence. I like the way. Also, I was gonna say, conceptually, this could have been my favorite episode. Just the fact that like 2 children created from the dark side, who are both Sith, who are capable of this kind of technology. I loved the idea of this one probably the most of any of them. But goddamn, this one did not work for me at all. I was so upset.
Yeah,
That's probably why I put it so low.
So what you're saying is if this episode, the Twins episode, was done by not Studio Trigger,
100% probably my favorite episode. Legit. I don't know.
So yeah. Now, as I told Chris, the next one we got was highly more quality. Now listen here. I will pull this card. Chris got to pull the I'm a Studio Trigger card. Well, I'm pulling this card because since we're doing a tier list thing, this next episode is actually my number 1 favorite.
Really? This one?
This one.
Why? It's half a Filoni special.
No, not necessarily.
Oh, God.
This one is real. This one is my absolute favorite one.
Oh boy.
And that would be episode 4, The Village Bride, which is done by, if any of you know, how would you say this? Is it
Kinema?
It is Kinema.
Kinema Citrus.
Kinema Citrus.
Yeah.
Do you know this one?
I
don't.
I don't know their stuff. No, they do. I've checked their stuff, and they do. I have nothing I've heard of, but they do a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Okay, so we start off with a weird guy in a bucket head.
Yep, I was gonna say we really need to speed these episodes up. This one is so thin and plot wise. You could say this in like literally 2 sentences.
Hey, you want me to be honest with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna get done with this quick because we've got 5 more episodes.
I know, but there's only like a couple that are actually like worth talking about a lot in depth.
Shut up and just
in depth. I wouldn't have described that last one in depth. We could have went through that in like 2 seconds. Even
we literally could have went through the last one in 2 seconds. This one is absolutely my favorite.
It's a very beautiful. Oh wow, I'm saying,
beautiful. Thank you.
It's very beautiful.
You agree?
It's very, very, very beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, but plot thing.
Yes, the story is very simple. So you have 2 Jedi, which it's already revealed that they're Jedi.
Yeah, why they're on that planet, how they got there.
The Buckethead, he's been on that planet for a while because we see.
Also, is he a Jedi? Because I don't think he's a Jedi. I think she's masterless, and he's just there with a gun.
Now hold on, you'll find out. You might be right, but either way, you just see these 2 individuals. One that is pretty much a Jedi but masterless. Other one who's could be a Jedi. We don't know. I call him a Jedi because he's got sage advice. And they're like, the one girl, the one Jedi is like,
F.
hey,
Apparently, she's credited as.
Is that what she's?
Just
Because they
F.
never give her a name.
Yeah, no, she's credited as F. The guy with the helmet is called Valko.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna call him Buckethead and her.
And
her.
her.
And her, because she doesn't ever have a name.
Of course.
Buckethead and Jedi.
Yeah.
Buckethead and Jedi.
That sounds like a terrible 90s sitcom.
It sounds like a Trigger anime.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so Buckethead is like he takes off the bucket and he actually has a regular looking face and everything.
Old
He's not
human guy.
scarred or anything.
Yeah.
And she is wearing a hood with a mask on, and she has like a ponytail, side ponytail.
Is it a Padawan braid? Do you think?
Yeah, it is. It is actually.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so he's like, hey, I brought you here for a reason, and she's like, okay, what? And then we see we see this guy carrying a really big, what looks like a pack.
Yeah.
But upon closer inspection, he's actually carrying a lady who's sitting in a chair.
Yep.
And he's climbing a lot and everything like that.
And also, if you have any narrative inclination, you can guess that this is probably the titular bride and groom, which you can call immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's called the Village Bride or something.
Yeah, I know. But also, she's wearing a weird horn thing. I thought I've seen that character in pictures and promo stuff. I could have sworn she was a Togruta Ahsoka and Shakti.
Yeah,
I 100% thought she was.
But no, it was just a headdress.
Yeah, it's just that weird head horn she's wearing the entire half the thing.
And as this is going on, the bride and groom are talking, and they're building up their characters a little bit.
Yeah, talking about how they grew up together.
They're childhood friends. They grew up together. She has a sister apparently.
Yeah.
They all hung up there. They were kids in this literally nothing but nature
big
kind of
forest.
place. Which, by the way, as they're walking, you also see the Jedi and the other guy, and she does mention that this is a very barren land.
Yeah, there's not a lot of life on this planet.
And you find out that the Separatists actually, during the war, the Separatists actually drained them of their resources completely.
Yep.
And left behind a bunch of droids.
We'll get to that later because you actually find that out a little later.
Yep.
But you're right. And then through
they follow them down a path.
Yeah, they follow the bride and groom,
rock.
this giant rock, and they start doing this chant,
Ritual
this prayer, and they talk about something called Majima.
Yeah.
Which as this happens, an actual blue field appears, and the Jedi realizes that this is very similar to the Force.
Yeah, it is the Force.
Yeah, and it really is just a different name kind of thing. And you find out that the people on this planet have a very high connection to the Force.
Yeah, very weird.
But they live in peace and harmony.
Mm-hmm. This is when we get a flashback to the two of them when they were kids playing in a pond with her sister.
Yeah, playing in a pond. Redirecting the water so that the fish can go up. And and after that, the groom, carries the bride all the way back down, and the Jedi lady's like, okay, so this is what you wanted to show me, this whole thing. He's like, no. He's just, we'll keep going. Cut to the wedding ceremony, the reception
that night, the wedding feast. Yeah.
Yep, and people are like, yay, it's a wedding, and the one guy, Buckethead, is like, hey, I'll drink some sake and stuff. The Jedi starts listening to these conversations, and some of them are like, hey, it's a wedding celebration and stuff. But then she starts hearing people like, man, I can't believe it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be this way?
We also see a group of very upset young people staring at her.
Yeah, just doing a stare down kind of thing. And of course, the Jedi's like, wait, what do you mean it has to be this way? And Buckethead, what'd you say his name was?
Valko?
Valko in the credit. Well, I'm just gonna call him that because Buckethead just seems. He's like, oh yeah. So he's like, yeah, I can understand. They're being under a plight. If I recall, there's a bunch of bandits, which is when you find out about the droids.
Yeah.
A bunch of bandits found a bunch of droids.
Yeah,
and
battle droids specifically.
Separatist battle droids, reprogrammed them. AKA half a Filoni special, kind of thing.
Yep.
But in this case, they said they'd let the village live if they take the chief, not just give us your money.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. No, it was give us the chief, we'll live. And instead of that happening, the granddaughter of the village chief, the bride, is like, I'll go in your stead. And as this exposition was given, you get to see, the angry group of teens just get up, and one of them is the bride's sister. Yep. You can definitely tell because it just looks like an older older.
He confronts him saying, "We don't have to do this. We can fight back. We can
we can fight and all this stuff." And of course, the bride's like, "No, we can't. I mean, I've already made my decision and stuff." And they get angry and they walk away. Kind of like why does a wedding have to be so mournful? And every once in a while with the Jedi, we failed to mention, she gets flashbacks of like her past. Yeah, like there was the one where you hear the Jedi's like getting attacked by the droids. Yeah. And like every once in a while it would just be some kind of thing. It's like she's like having an internal conflict with herself. You see her, floating a rock, and the bride's like, "Oh, you think me reckless? Don't worry.
Yeah, later
I
when
have
she's by
a plan."
herself, you mean? Yeah. And they talk to each other like about the Majima and all that stuff. They kind of confront each other, but yes, I'm going to go with them because it's for the safety of the village, for my grandfather, or whatever the hell. Is he your father, you think? Or
it's grandfather. They actually say that she's the granddaughter.
Yeah, okay.
And then, of course, her and her husband, her now husband, the bride and the husband are like packing everything up, getting prepared.
Yeah, she says she doesn't want to put the village at risk by attacking the Marauders.
Exactly, yeah. And then, of course, day comes, you see this really interesting looking bandit guy who's like, so you're the replacement, huh? Okay, it's amazing because you do this. But you will forgive me if I'm overcautious.
Yeah.
Finds the group of people sister, with a thermal detonator.
Yep.
And of course the guy's like, well, look, I can't make any exceptions. Gonna have to murder this person.
Yeah.
Shoots the gun, and then one of my favorite scenes of all time, because anything with the Force that does it like in this fashion, I always like. The beam is only halfway to the girl, and it's just stopped in midair. And you see the Jedi is back there, holding out her, using the Force to stop the beam, and then just repels it right back to it, kind of thing. Because see, every time you see like the repelling, it's always with a lightsaber, or it's just like
the best is still Kylo Ren at the beginning of Force Awakens, where he like freezes that like super giant bolt, has a whole conversation, walks around, does some other Force powers, gets on the ship, leaves, and then it fires at the person.
Yeah,
it's just like that's badass
stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then of course you get like this whole like this whole thing because. Earlier on, you find out that the Jedi's master was from this planet. And somewhere along the line, she actually cuts her top knot.
Yeah, she takes her mask off as well.
Yeah, and she removed her mask, so you actually get to see her full face and everything. And, the guys are like, what's going on? What are you? Are you some kind of monster?
Yeah, all the girls are like, Roger. What's that? Get her.
Oh, yeah, and then...
Ben's favorite characters in Star Wars. What? You love the droids, right? Do you remember you said you love the droids?
The way they spoke... stupid funny.
Yeah, it made me think of... So, y'all play Portal 2, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall, like, this, the part later on in the story where, like, you have to trick the machine by, like, swapping a good... turret with like a defective turret.
Yeah.
When the turret speaks, it's like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what all the battle droids are. Yeah, they're all like, Roger. What's that? I don't know.
Yeah, because as she stops the bolt, Zuko, Zerok, Valo, whatever his name is.
Also, the main bad guy, whatever his name, like Lord Azuma or something. But
we don't care.
It doesn't matter.
But the Buckethead. Because apparently I went back to that. He's actually shooting one by one the droids, but with an actual like sniper rifle.
Regular
and then
blaster.
And then when he's out of ammo, quote unquote, he literally takes the Buckethead and throws it down. And like Chris was describing, they all literally flock to the battle droids in typical battle droid fashion. Just go over, what's this? I don't know. Apparently it was full of explosives or something because it flies into the ship. Destroys the ship,
blows up
and all of the droids just fall down.
Yeah, very silly.
And then, of course, in typical villain fashion, takes the main bad guy, takes the bride, puts a gun to her side, is like, dude, you don't do this or I'll shoot. And then we get cool anime moment, because not only is her blade yellow...
Yep, best color.
Yes, it is. And you notice also... when she extends the blade,
it's thin.
It's katana thin.
Yeah, it's like,
but the hilt actually has a ring that is
it's like
as
an actual
well.
samurai katana. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course she does like the, as I like to call it, the anime power stance.
Yeah, of course.
And this one, if there's anything I don't like about this episode, this would be it. Her stilettos go out as if it's like
her stilettos unhinged.
Yeah, unhinged. That would be one of the things I don't like about this episode.
Yeah.
And then of course, just quick as a flash, just literally, just everything happens all at once.
Yep.
Guy's hand with the gun falls down, and then he falls down dead.
Yep.
The Jedi girl leaves. The guy who was Buckethead stays on there, and everyone lived happily ever after.
Yeah, a very peaceful ending to a very, very pretty, very succinct. A very succinct ending to one. We didn't talk about the last one, the twins. If you would say that's like part of a series you'd like to see or a standalone story.
That one obviously has an open ending. It would be.
I wouldn't be interested in.
But me, I feel like I would not.
I would have loved to see before then. I feel like that's in the middle of a story that I would like to see the beginning of. But
this one right here,
sucked.
This episode right here,
it feels concise to me.
It could be a one-off, but I feel like this was a last episode. I feel like this would be one of those kinds of episodes that focused on the Jedi girl.
Yeah.
And there would be something beforehand building up to this moment. But as a standalone thing, definitely spot on. Now, I'm very different when it comes to storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know me. I've read H.P. Lovecraft stories.
Yeah.
I convoluted, complicated stories, I can get behind. But sometimes a story needs simplicity in order to get its point across. It's more atmospheric than anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
This story absolutely is simplistic. I'm not going to fight that one. It is. It's highly simplistic. It's more atmospheric. It's more about, the visual and as well as the music. The soundtrack to this one by far. But it's also kind of a misleading story. Because they get you to believe that it's, about this village, the bride and groom, and the bride doing this thing. Not true. It's actually about the rediscovery of the Jedi's, will to do whatever it is.
Mission to be a Jedi.
Because she started off as very, held back.
Yeah.
Doesn't really talk much. And then it got to the point with all of this, finding out, piecing together her story.
Yeah.
That, at the end she was able to actually do something about it.
Exactly.
And everything about this, all of the storytelling elements and stuff, simplistic though they may be, was utilized in a way that was just perfect, in my opinion. Every single thing, the storytelling, the characters, yes, all of the characters, even the silly battle droids, because they were just normal battle droids.
Yeah, they're literally just regular,
Hell, even the bandit guy.
Even
though he only had a blink and you miss it moment in this episode. Everyone was actually pretty fleshed out as well as they needed. Now, a lot of times when I say that, people think that's not enough. No, if it's as well as they needed, it's they didn't overstay their welcome kind of thing. But it wasn't too little where you don't know, like in episode 2 that we just talked about.
You mean Twins?
Well, that one too, but I mean also there was a lot of glossed over things in the music one. Yeah.
I felt like this one was very concise and definitely was perfect the way it was. I'll say I wasn't putting it down before to say you as your favorite. It's probably my top 3.
Well, and I can understand. It's just took me by surprise that it sounded like you were being a little.
Of course.
But no, that's just you and I didn't really take it with a grain of salt.
Of course.
But this one, just everything for me, story-wise, music-wise, visual-wise, everything, just hit all the right notes to me. So this one right here is actually my top episode. Chris, we're not neglecting you. This episode, The Village Bride, what were your thoughts on this?
The background music, during the climbing scene with the bride and the groom, was absolutely gorgeous.
The choir and all that?
Yeah. It was singing in the pseudo language. It was just absolutely great. I love listening to it. It kind of told the story on its own, similar to how the music in like Samurai Jack kind of like conveys the story without dialogue.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You know what? That's actually a good way of putting it.
The art style definitely reminded me of Pokemon for some reason.
I think the studio does do Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the brand new episodes, like the
Alolan
Alolan ones, like with the facial expressions and everything.
It was very pretty.
Kingdom of Citrus?
I don't think they do. Actually, they do a lot of like weird card anime and stuff.
I was gonna say, you two keep talking. I'm gonna look up Kinema.
Oh yeah, I looked up on their account and stuff. Like I said, nothing I recognize, but they do a lot of very pretty animes like this one. So, they do good stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was there any other things?
I mean, I didn't pick up from this anime nearly as much as what you did, Ben.
Which is fine. I mean, this is the whole point of this: is we all have different opinions.
Like I guess differences being like this was your second time watching versus my first time. It was also kind of late at night when I watched it, and I was kind of focused on the note taking, so I didn't pick up quite as much. Like there were a handful of details you were describing. And I'm just like, when did that happen? When did they say that?
Yeah. I was gonna say this. I think the studio, the most popular thing is probably Made in Abyss.
Really?
Yeah, I believe the studio that did Made in Abyss.
Hold on a second. I'm thinking, yep, they did Made in Abyss. And guess what else they did, Chris?
Oh, I could have... I was getting Made in Abyss vibes from episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah. This studio did Made in Abyss. Guess what else they did, Chris?
What?
The Rising of Shield Hero.
They did Shield Bro?
They did Shield Bro.
Oh, that's
I don't even know what that is.
I know he does.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Because we're in a group of people.
Yeah.
Cool Tyler, as we like to call him. They watch anime, and that was one of the ones that they watched.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, either way. And apparently they did one of the Eureka 7 movies.
Oh, I like Eureka.
One of the movies, yeah. Erica 7.
They say
It looks like
it's
Eureka.
spelled that way, but they say it really bizarrely in the show.
Yeah, but no, they did one of the movies apparently. They did not
actually
actually
do the show. That's weird. It looks like the style of that show.
Yeah, it really does. But either way, so a little bit more famous than I thought. But yeah, and like you said, you didn't take as much as I did. Yes, it was your first time, but also just some episodes you'll just forgive the terminology. I'm friends with a memer. There's just some episodes that you'll vibe with a lot better than other episodes.
Yeah, like beautiful art style, beautiful art direction, beautiful background music, plot thin but easy to follow. And it had some good emotion behind it. So all in all, I'd say it's good. Definitely not my top favorite, but I liked it.
Yeah, that's good.
Like I said, top 3 for me out of the 9. So
absolutely, and like I said, you and I, we always give crap to each other.
Of course.
Speaking of a little bit of crap, don't worry, I don't know why I'm segueing this.
What the hell?
Speaking of segues,
this next episode 5, The Ninth Jedi, done by a very familiar sounding studio.
They looked incredibly. My mind immediately went to Bleach, but I'm not sure.
No, I know Production IG, by the way, is the studio.
Yeah.
It definitely was not Bleach in my opinion.
The style reminded me of that.
Yeah, actually, on Toonami, back when Toonami was actually in midday.
Yeah.
Do you remember an anime called Blue Sub Number 6?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was getting vibes of that because some of the backgrounds and stuff were very CG heavy, but the characters themselves were hand drawn. I was getting vibes of that. By the way, you and I can argue about this. Later.
Speaking of Blue Submarine number 6, they might have worked on that because they're definitely doing Pirate Princess, that currently went airing on Adult Swim.
Never heard of that.
It's an Adult Swim, I think, original possibly, but it might be the studio from another Adult Swim series.
And by the way, you and I can argue about this off topic.
Yeah.
But I actually do enjoy Blue Sub number 6.
Ew.
Anyway.
Really?
We're gonna argue about this later. But anyway, but yes. So, Chris, how does the Ninth Jedi start?
So we're far into the future, where Jedis and lightsabers don't exist anymore, for the most part. There's a dude named Juro who sent out this beacon message to 7 or so people in the world, calling all masterless Jedi, gather here because I'll give you lightsabers and we can stop the war and stuff.
Yeah, stop the Sith. And they said they're trying to stop him by sending Jedi killers to stop the lightsabers getting
correct, because this Juro guy is trying to get the Jedi Order back.
Mm-hmm.
However, what he doesn't know is that there are Sith who want to stop this from happening.
Yeah.
So, cut to on this asteroid-looking thing, where we see one man by the name of Ethan,
a very generic anime protag looking guy,
walking in. He's like, "Hey, my name's Ethan. I had this." Holds up the missive, and you actually get to hear the missive in its whole.
Yep.
And everyone's like, and all these other
I believe
like
there are
white cloaks.
7 other people there. I want to say.
Yes, there are 7 others.
Six other figures.
There were 7 total.
Yeah, so 6 other figures.
Yeah, 6 other ones, and a lot of them seem to be like dressed in white.
Yeah, they're all like in like robes,
like white Jedi robes and stuff, and they're like, "Huh, so you got this message too?" Okay, and they're trying to speculate.
They're all speculating.
Is this a trap?
You came here for a thing. You don't have a master. We're all Jedi. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
catching up.
I know. Like, okay, so for you,
yeah,
species, weird tiny purple guy.
I think this one might actually have been all original.
All original?
Species.
I've never realized.
I pride myself on knowing a lot of species. I didn't recognize any of them. Yeah, they're not specifically named. I'm looking up on. I believe they are original.
Cool. Well, as they're speculating, we go down to the planet, because they also mention they're not sure about the whole lightsaber thing, but they know that the planet that they're above is heavy with kyber crystal deposits.
Yeah.
Cut to said place, where we see anime protagonist girl.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry. Checklist. Hey, checklist time for anime, okay? Cute anime girl protagonist, check. Tiny robot companion that's adorable, check.
Riding a bike, just trying a speeder, trying to get back to somewhere.
Yep, just riding on a speeder.
Riding a speeder, yeah.
And all that stuff.
And
we cut to, as she's doing that, we cut to a guy at a forge actually, like, finishing up a lightsaber.
Oh, before that, they do say, like, where's Margrave? And then a big droid shows up and saying, you guys are all
Samuel
here.
Hayden appears. Samuel Hayden appears. No, like, seriously, he's got the deep voice,
it looks
the
like
menacing.
The weird, like,
you're
arms,
right.
everything.
You're right. Yeah, Samuel Hayden appears. And, by the way, his name's not Samuel Hayden.
It's a robot saying, you're here to meet the Margrave. He's going to give you your lightsabers, huh? You guys are all just going to wait here. He should be here any minute now.
When I first watched this, I know you'll get this, he won't. Ever played a game called StarCraft?
Yeah.
That voice, literally, the first thing I heard was Goliath Online.
I'm curious if it's the same. I didn't check the voice actors, but yeah.
But anyway, but either way, you're right. Forgot that part. But then again, we always skip like this. Then it cuts to cute anime girl protagonist number X, whose name we find out is Kara.
Yep. And
she drives over and she goes to her dad, who is finishing up a lightsaber.
A blacksmith. Yeah.
Yeah, a blacksmith with a lightsaber. She's like, hey, we're doing really good today and stuff. And he's like, yep, and I just finished the last lightsaber that Juro wanted. And this is where it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I like about this episode is how the lightsabers work.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
In this episode, because Kara takes one and tries it out.
Yeah.
And it's a colorless blade that randomly extends and shortens. And what we find out that it's not... the kyber crystal, yes, is kind of unique. This guy built the lightsabers to reflect the wielders.
Yeah, the wielders' connection to the Force.
Exactly. Yes.
That's very, very interesting because, I know old lore was that the reason Sith lightsabers were red is because the crystal, when they turned dark side, would, crack and be corrupted or, weeping.
Oh, it wasn't anything to do with that ritualistic bleeding?
No, in one thing, in another thing, it was because they cracked or were weeping or nothing. It was just because Dark Force or just they choose it. It was back in the Wild West of old EU when nothing was 100% canon or not.
Okay.
But yeah, another thing, they were synthetic. People thought for a while. I think that may have been the case in KOTOR, that the red is synthetic kyber crystals or something like that. But I really like the idea of them changing depending on the person's personality.
Yeah, this is cool. My favorite thing. One of my favorite things.
I used to be
of course, Kara is wielding this like she's a natural at it.
Yeah,
but
she knows what she's
with the
doing.
colorless blade and it fluctuating size, even she's just like, oh, that means I'm not really strong in the Force because this doesn't have a real color yet.
Yeah.
And of course, anime dad, don't worry, it'll come to you. You're really strong with the Force, you just need focus.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, that's actually different. All of a sudden, a ship comes, and Kara's like, wait a minute, is that the Jedi? And he's like, nope. Wraps up the lightsabers and says, take these, go to the temple.
It's like GTFO.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I don't quite get. So at that point, the dudes come in, we're just like, we hear you're making illegal lightsabers. And they said, like, really? And where did you get this information? From the person that enlisted you to make these. So, wait, how would they get this information from Juro?
We'll find out later. We actually do find out later what the reason for that.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough. One of the coolest scenes ever, because you see the blacksmith, like, turning a knob or something. Yeah. He literally, dodges a shot, uses the force to explode the furnace.
Yeah.
But the best part about it is when the explosion happens, Kara looks back. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Dad was giving her a hug and everything. She's like, you're being weird.
Yeah,
this is the last time.
Totally not foreshadowing.
Yeah, of course. He'll be fine.
and of course, she turns around and she's like, Father, no! Because his body is, on the ground. And yet, somehow, he's still able to be like, go! He lived. A point-blank explosion.
Yeah.
And he was not charred, and he still lived.
Wait, Anakin was on the side of that volcano river for a couple of seconds.
But he was charred.
Yeah, and he was still like, yo!
Yeah, but this guy was not charred at all. And he was still like, no, just go! Anyway, and of course, one of the guys is like, follow her, as they take the dad away. And, we get a cool, speeder chase.
Yeah, very cool.
To, a frozen lake of some sort.
Was it frozen? It was like sand or something.
I don't know.
It was like, I think it's a frozen lake.
Well, it was either that, because I know in the desert, high pressure sand turns to glass. Yeah. So it might have been one of those. Either way, it's a harder crystalline surface. And of course, we get the cool Star Wars moment where she jumps off her speeder, waits, and then once the enemy gets up, she just does the cool
cut through
deflect,
the bike.
Cuts the bike, not the person.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's still probably dead anyway because the way that thing flips over.
The way he flips over, but he looks up I don't know. They might be an alien race.
They're wearing the big.
They're wearing the weird bug-eyed helmets. So.
Yeah.
But so she she's like, haha, I do a cool flourish. Gets on her speeder, goes to the most relatable character ever.
Old droid.
Before that, however, we actually cut back because Samuel Hayden is like, this is what's happening and all of this stuff, and the Sith and the
Jedi waiting for
the Jedi. Sorry, the Jedis are like, yeah, but how is this not a Sith trick? What makes you think that we believe that you actually have a lightsaber? And Hayden is holding a box this entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, you want this? Kind of wiggles it
shows it to them,
opens it up, and it's an actually very ornate looking,
very cool looking saber.
Yeah, saber. And of course, all of them are like, "Whoa! It's actually whoa! This is actually the hilt of a lightsaber." Ethan's like, "Yeah, let me hold this for a second." Actually, turns on the blade, and it's a bluish cyan kind of color.
Yeah, it's a weird off blue.
Off blue, but it's still really cool.
Oh yeah.
And of course, they're all like, "Okay, we believe you, but when are they going to be here? They'll be here. Don't worry."
Yeah, exactly. And the girl.
Cut to the most relatable character ever. Old droid.
Yeah, old droid just sitting there sipping his oil tea or whatever.
Yeah, I even asked Chris, I'm like, is that supposed to be tea or oil? I can't tell. And all of a sudden she's like, old droid, please, I need to get to the temple. Long sip and just, I'm on my break.
Yeah, she's come on.
Looks at the line of droids next to him, literally none of which are functioning.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Gives her what looks like a gold yen coin.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to be the only one. He's like, fine. I'm like, and he's literally walking super slow.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I can't be mad at this guy. He's the most relatable character ever.
Exactly.
Motivated by money.
No, not even that. Just they
Lazy
paid.
reluctance.
I don't want to, but I guess so. And, it just cut, they're flying through everything.
Yeah,
and she notices that one ship, that of the two bug-eyed looking guys, is actually flying away in the distance, and she's like, "Oh no," kind of thing.
Gotta rescue your dad.
So we get to the temple, and
Finally
she's there, and she's like, "Hey, I'm Kara. My dad is I forget. They actually say his name, but he's like a master smith." And she's like, "Here." Opens it up, and you see the lightsabers.
His name's Zima.
Zevon.
Zima.
Yeah, Zima.
Yeah.
My dad's Zima, and he got captured by Jedi killer, Jedi hunters.
Yeah.
Opens up the thing. And she's like, "Yeah, here's the lightsabers," and all the guys are like, "Whoa, yeah, these are the lightsabers." And they mention Juro, and she's like, "Wait, you guys know Juro?" Because, like, apparently she knows. They're like,
oh no,
you know?
she's like, yo, Juro will be here any minute, and then there's like, oh, you know Juro? They tell her that. She's
Yeah,
like,
you know Juro, yeah, when I was a kid, I've known him. She's like, oh, so you know where he is right now? This scene, like, made me jaw drop a little bit, because, like, oh, you know where he is then. All except for Ethan.
Yeah.
Open their blades, and they're all red.
I was so hyped when
I'm
that
like...
happened. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
Chris, to quote Chris, oh, well, this was a turn.
Yeah, I was
like,
so
Chris was
hyped.
just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then... with them like actually having their blades out,
yeah,
you actually hear Samuel Hayden going, "Oh, so this all makes sense now." Robot opens and Juro is sitting in there. He's like, "Yeah, I've been here this whole time, and I wanted to make sure who was good and who was bad." Little purple guy is like, "Yeah, we're part of a Sith order that wants to stop you." Of course, explaining what we already know now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, one of the guys goes up with his lightsaber to try to attack, and I think he uses the Force or something.
I think he does use.
And then takes the lightsaber, and because Blade's already out, takes one of the red lightsabers. When he holds it, it actually turns green and actually grows a hilt.
I didn't see him grow a hilt, but yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I know it was weird, but he actually holds it and it's green.
Yeah.
Which, hey, he's a good guy. And then Ethan, Kara, and Juro start fighting these guys.
Very cool scene.
Oh, very cool actiony scene. It's like
they take out a bunch of them. It's a really, but then one of the supposed Sith's blade is kind of flickering between red and purple as he's fighting Kara.
As he's fighting Kara, but then Kara's like, "I'm gonna save Juro," from the long-haired guy, because the long-haired guy is angry and decides to shoot Force lightning.
Yeah.
I think, isn't it like red in
I
color
believe
or something?
so. Yeah.
Now here's my question to you. When it comes to Force lightning, isn't it supposed to be just normal color, or is there actually a red Force lightning?
I've never seen it show up in the canon so far.
Okay. Then that means they were just doing this for artistic value.
Because AM also had red lightning when she did it.
She did.
Yeah, you're right. So I didn't know if that was just an artistic choice or whatever. Yeah. And with the red lightning from AM, I took it to overloading armor.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't think anything of it. But this guy literally used Force lightning on his own. So I didn't know if there was a really strong Force lightning that was red, or if it was just an aesthetic choice. Really good choice, not gonna lie. Because the whole good and evil thing. So as Kara is fighting, before she goes to save Juro, you find out her blade starts flickering a green color.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then of course, she stops, she defends, and then the long-haired guy who's shooting the lightning gets force pushed into this giant crystal thing, shatters it, and then spontaneously combusts.
Yeah,
he explodes.
Yeah, he explodes. But then, as Ethan's fighting the guy who now has with the flickering, who now has a purple lightsaber, Juro's like, "Hey, stop!
Yeah,
I know this isn't you."
Yeah, you're overwhelmed with their dark force energy or whatever.
Yeah, and actually, that's what the other guy said. He's like, "Yeah, their dark side was overwhelming me. I'm sorry." He apologizes, and then of course we get Kara "Wait, so are we gonna save my dad?" And Juro's like, "Yes, I want you to come with me. Be my Padawan," kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And which is kind of cool, not gonna lie. And Ethan's like, "Wait, so we're the only Jedi, aren't we?" And of course, in typical Jedi fashion, "Nope, I still sense them.
Yeah,
we can save our dad, and we can find the others."
Yeah.
And then they walk off, cool anime fashion, and then episode ends.
Yep, and I'll say, this is my number one episode.
This one's your number one?
This is my number one.
Not gonna lie, I can see that.
Oh.
This was episode 5.
Yep. This was my favorite of the bunch, besides just the huge number of Sith and the very cool reveal. The art style was very, very pretty the entire time. The action was very, very good. Also, by this point, I was thinking of a trend. I was just like, geez, is every single one of these going to be the good guys winning every single time at the end? Come on, you got to throw me the curveball like KOTOR. You can be a bad guy in that.
Right.
Or the prequel trilogy ends with the bad guys kind of being like, we're going to start going crazy now.
Right.
I was hoping for
Right, something like that. At least one of them living or something at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see why you like this one because everything is really good. The story was well done. It was consistent. It leaves it open if you want for more.
Yeah.
But they could leave it with an open ending like
and
that.
also a lot of interesting characters, design-wise,
But
and like goals and stuff. Yeah.
this one right here, I can definitely see an ongoing series with
Oh,
this.
absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Chris, time for your thoughts.
Don't really have a whole lot to add, honestly. Like, I liked it. It was, again, not my top episode. But, yeah, cute anime girl MC with kick-ass little sidekick robot. Pretty cool.
I mean, because, anime, you have to have at least either protagonist male with obvious hair, like Ethan, or cute anime girl.
Yep.
Like the Sith, the Sith revealing themselves via the lightsabers. That was a twist I didn't see coming. So that was
so
well that was well told.
Dude,
I think.
I knew you were invested because when the lightsabers came out and they were red, you literally stopped and you were just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, good, you're invested.
That took a real turn.
Such an amazing reveal.
It was also interesting just to see that there was a place that was literally manufacturing the lightsabers. Like, you don't see it very often.
Yeah, usually the Padawans make them themselves when they're kids.
Right, yeah, it's usually like a Jedi, a Padawan ritual kind of thing where they all go out, find their own crystal, come back, and then they use the Force to build their own. This one was just a guy just knows how to make them, and he manufactured them himself. I agree with you on that, Chris. That was cool. And I've already sung this praise before, but the fact that how you, it's reflected on the user.
Yeah.
Really cool. So, because we got some cool scenes like you were talking about, like the red turning the purple, the clear one turning into green, and actually solidifying a length of the blade. And I'm just like, I like this concept. Too bad it's not canon, but it needs to be.
It could have been. The setup for the actual state of that universe could have easily been a canon thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wished it was, but and also I was going to say, I'm going to pull a mulligan right now and say that since we are a good ways through, but this is your lead episode, I was going to say, I think we should call it for this episode of we're halfway through, we're at 5 of 9.
Yeah, we just got done with 9, and we're already over 2 hours.
Oh yeah, long episode, it's going to be extra long.
Surprise for you viewers. We were actually going to do this in one episode, but guess what? We're going to do it in 2.
Yeah, we got to milk the space.
You sure do like talking.
Hell yeah.
Don't worry. we really do. I mean, then again, if you listen to this or movie garbage, we do that a lot.
Of course, that's the fun of it.
And just to do a quick version of this, because we're already having because this is part 1, we're going to do a part 2. In case none of you get the part 2, I have no shameless plugs at the moment. I'm still working on a few things. 2021 has not been the best year.
Oh, yeah, for anybody.
Chris does not have any shameless plugs, or do you?
Nope.
Okay. Matt, fill it in.
All right, Matthew Lewis Podcast, Twitter, Matthew Lewis Podcast, YouTube, Matthew Lewis Podcast, Patreon, Matthew Lewis Podcasts, everywhere. Go look it up on your podcast app of choice.
Question.
Yo.
You have a book, don't you?
Oh, thank you for remembering. I do have a book, The Forgotten Minotaur King, based off of the Matthew Lewis Podcast, The Forgotten Minotaur King. Also, Movie Garbage with Ed, freaking guest on this show. Check them all out. Check those out. Donate. Watch my videos on YouTube. Maybe Twitch someday. Who knows? That's me. But yeah, movie. I would call it Movie Garbage. Action Toon Bros. Part 1 of Star Wars.
Yep, part 1
special.
Part 1 of 2. Stay tuned. More to come. But as we always end with every episode, everyone listening in, keep it sleazy.
Sleazy.